What's up, guys? Welcome back. Welcome back, man. We're happy to be back to bring to you guys another episode of the Sim Standard Podcast. If you don't know by now, I am SimFBallCritic along with Smitty, and we're going to do our thing tonight, man. Hopefully, it'll turn out to be a good show. The reason why I say turn out, man, is because, let's be honest, it's not a lot to talk about right now. We continue to tell you guys we would like you guys to be a part of the show. Whether you come on or not, feed us with topics. Got to give us topics, man, because if not, let me explain to you what's going to happen if you don't give us topics. We're going to end up being like the Undisputed or First Take. We're going to end up just talking about regular world stuff. Because at this moment in time, what is it, June, 29th? Yeah. There's nothing to really talk about in terms of games. I mean, we can go back and forth with the Madden stuff and E3, EA Play. That's almost dead already. So I have a couple topics here, man. I think me and Smitty will be able to make the best of it as well. We're not always going to go 2 hours. You know, I think that's the standard, but hey, the way it's going to get is whenever we're done speaking on what we want to speak on, that's it. You know, and I think you guys will appreciate that as well. Sometimes we'll go over 2 hours. Sometimes we'll be under 2 hours. But anyway, man, let me at least give you guys the rundown as far as what we're going to talk about tonight real quick. And then, of course, if you guys want to come on, all we need is an email address. We'll bring you on, as well as you can share some topics in the chat. You know, if there's something you guys want us to address, because, again, these topics are kind of put together. Nothing has to be script or structured. We'll feel free to let us know, hey, talk about this. What do you feel about that? And we'll jump right into it. But what we have as far as on the docket, man, the first thing I want to talk about is the competitive versus simulation head-to-head setting for online play in Madden 18. You guys know some of you may know, I did a poll on that. It has closed, and I will reveal the results tonight. I also will allow myself and Smitty to give our opinion as far as what setting we think it should be on and why. But it's interesting. It's very interesting, the results of that poll. So we'll definitely talk about that. We also want to talk about our sports games taken for granted. You know, this is something that I saw Silent Gamer mention on Twitter, formerly known as Virtual Footballer. Very good question, and we'll dive into that and explain to you guys what that means. Also, man, the community being in an uproar and the approach that they take when giving feedback to the devs. Definitely want to talk about that. I mean, you may have noticed recently, or actually today, as y'all see me pushing my son out of the way. You know, the devs for MLB The Show, they had to do a quick stream today. And just as a whole, and shout outs to, you know, For Verts, his podcast. You know, he was the one who actually gave me this kind of topic. The community is just bugging out a little bit, man, in terms of all communities when it comes to gaming and giving feedback and things of that nature. So we'll talk about that. And then I want to talk about gamer expectations. You know, we've touched this before, but have we actually gotten to a point where we can't even enjoy games no more? All we want to do is nitpick. Are our expectations too high or too low? So we'll definitely dive into that. And I guess, Smitty, man, if you want to kick this off real quick, somebody earlier in my stream yesterday, I think, or either it was Tuesday, they asked if we could talk about NBA free agency a little bit. I know you probably dive into that a little more than I do, so I'll throw that to you. We can knock that out real quick, give our quick opinions, and then we'll dive into the other topics. So what you got on that front, Smitty? I know the only thing I know right out the gate is the whole Chris Paul situation in Houston. Man. Yeah. What are your thoughts about that situation and Pat Bev being shipped out? It's a little interesting, man, but what do you think?
I mean, I think it's a good, you know, it definitely is a nice little, you know, injection, so to speak, as far as the Houston. But it's the thing, though, like, I'm not certain as far as the whole dynamic. How's that all going to play out? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sure, like, how people are going to necessarily feel. Like, what coaching scheme are you going to use with that? Because you moved Harden to the point guard this past season on purpose, because just to see how things worked out. And I mean, your team advanced further. Harden's numbers went up. and you guys did a good amount of work. And then you got to the playoffs, and then they basically got roadblocked there when they met the Spurs. But you bring Chris Paul over. I mean, it's not like Chris Paul about to play the 2 guard. So that's why I'm like, I don't know what kind of dynamic is really going to unfold in that regard with that trade. So, and see, the thing is, they traded away. I mean, I don't know the productivity stats. I didn't look into it. I don't know the statistics of everybody they dealt away outside of Patrick Beverley. Yeah. But it's like, I believe they gave away a lot of their youth. They gave away a good amount of their core youth for Chris Paul. And see, that's the other thing about that move is that, well, yes, I mean, Blake Griffin, more than likely, Blake Griffin is on, he's looking for an out from LA. So he's basically in a situation where they can either do a sign and trade, or he just will be a restricted free agent and say, I want to go. Like, basically he could do what Chris Paul did, say, hey, I want to go to this team, or I'm about to leave, or my intent is to go over here. That's what I'm going to go ahead and do. You guys can either facilitate it and possibly get something out of the deal, or I'm just going to walk away free come, next, like free agency next year. So that's the situation with that. And I mean, they're talking about the whole deal with maybe in a year, like this is the other thing too that could happen. Next year, we know that you would see the tweets happen from time to time. You would see the tweets show up. You would see the Instagram post where you would see D Wade and Chris Paul and LeBron and Melo all chilling together. Honestly, that potentially that could become a reality next offseason. If Melo waits this next year, plays out his deal, Chris Paul, he only has 1 year on his deal with Houston, so it's like he can opt out. I mean, he doesn't have to he'll be completely free, so he doesn't have to re-up. And then they could possibly pull off some deals. Now, obviously, somebody gonna have to leave. There's no way that they're gonna keep, Kevin Love and all that. Like, somebody gonna have to go. But the bottom line is that they can possibly all come together and be on Cleveland. Yeah. If they want to make it happen, they could honestly do it. Now, dudes are going to have to fall back and take less money and things like that. But, hey, this is a different day and age of salary cap. You know what I mean? So that sucker just keeps rising and rising. And Dan Gilbert ain't got no problem. He'll eat that luxury tax till his heart content to get the talent over. So if you want to keep LeBron there, and I'm just saying that's, it depending upon how things go with Houston. Like, if it seems to work out, he may stay. But if it doesn't work out, just saying, he's got that option. He can mess around and dip. But yeah, that's really, I mean, that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing in regards of like I said, NBA right now. I mean, yeah, you had the NBA awards. That was like, it was okay, but yeah, I mean, it's the first time. It's the very first year. It's inaugural year. It's not going to be the best. So I like it. I respect it. It's something that they definitely need to work on. To build up in the future. But I mean, as they said it themselves, it's the first year. It's going to get bigger and better come, in the future. At least I believe so as well. They'll look at what was good, what was bad, pull from that and build. But I will say this one bit real quick though, and then we'll jump out onto the next thing here, is that with NBA, I could say this though, at least with NBA Live and NBA 2K, from what I'm hearing, what people be tweeting and what people will let me know about, or I'll just see in the timeline, people treating it like it's Bloods and Crips out here. Either you ride with 2K or not, or you ride with Live F2K. Like, dudes is drawing lines in the sand about these games and everything. And a lot of these dudes that are doing it haven't even played. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't even played the game yet, man. And they doing all this extra stuff. Look.
Crazy. Clicked up, boy.
You know what I'm saying? like at the end of the day, it's about having options. You see what I'm saying? The NBA decided to allow options to happen, and that's what it is. We would love for the NFL to do the exact same thing. I would love to see NFL Game Day come back. I would love to see something.
Not me. I'm pro EA, baby. EA. I'm a sellout. I don't want no other football game. I just want to play MUT. I compete. I want to be a competitive player in MUT. Now, I'm gonna wait for the tweet for somebody who's taking me seriously right now.
Right.
You know what's gonna happen.
Oh yeah. But no, man, I want there to be as many choices as possible. I want to see Madden. You know, I would love to see 2K make another football game with the NFL license backing it. I love to see Sony make an NFL game with the license backing it, especially looking at MLB The Show. So, I mean, Sony, right.
Yeah, buddy.
So, I mean, that would be sick to see that happen. But, you know, it all comes down to the NFL in that regard, not EA. I don't know what people keep on saying, oh, it's EA that's doing it. No, it's the NFL. They hold the cards. Because remember, EA tried to get exclusivity on that NBA license, and the NBA said no. Yet you see that Live is still making a game with NBA licensing on it. So see what I'm saying?
Say that one more time, Smitty, because I need people to catch what you just said.
Okay, all right. So the NFL is the one that holds the cards, just like the NBA they're the ones that hold the cards. It's not 2K. 2K doesn't run who gets the license from the NBA, who gets to use it. EA didn't either, because like I said, EA tried to exclusively get the license, try to buy the license from the NBA, and they said no. But look, you got Live 18 on the cusp of coming out, and guess what? It's got official NBA licensing behind it. Mm-hmm. And 2K is still making their game too. And you already got NBA Live Mobile out here. So it's like those brands, the Jerry West logo and all that, they hold the trump card. They're the ones that decide, yay, nay, we want one person or anybody can make a game or whatever. They're the ones that make the decision, not the subsidiaries. Okay, so
EA,
make that clear.
EA can't force the NFL to keep the exclusive license, or not even exclusive, since what we heard, they can't force them to only do business with them. That's what you're saying. Is that what you're saying? Okay, I'm just making sure, because I hear other. You know, I'm always told it's big bad EA's fault. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No. Yes, that's not how it works. They don't run EA. I mean, EA doesn't run the NFL, and the NFL's got way more clout than EA. So that's how it works in that regard. But I'm just saying, though, man. Look, the thing is, at least for basketball, we got 2 solid games to play and enjoy. I mean, look, the way I'm feeling. NBA, I mean, I played NBA Live, Sim and I, we have our experience with it from that rough start, rough point or whatever, that beta or whatever. Well, not beta, that alpha build we played. So it's like going from there, I am definitely excited for the demo that's going to be dropping basically 2 months from now. So I look forward to that. I look forward to playing the final game. Dude, like I said, I'm excited. I'm very excited. At some point we're going to hear news about 2K18, and it's like dudes already saying, oh, wait, I can't wait for the 2K news to drop so they can kill Live. And I'm like, the heck, dude, I want multiple games, man. I'm not trying to play just one. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want multiple options and choices out here, man. Skip all this one option stuff. So that's what I'm saying. Like, let us enjoy our games. Let us have fun across the board. If you feeling what's going on in 2K, then enjoy 2K. But if something goes wrong in 2K, let's say they do an update and they jack the game up. Oh man, I got Live across the board and it doesn't have that problem. Let me play that. Like, now you can actually say that. And I mean, I feel that from what people have been looking at, for the most part, they've been liking what they're seeing. Mm-hmm. So I'm really I'm really looking forward to how people are going to feel once the demo is out and people get to feel it too. And the game is going to feel different from what we played at EA Play. So that's the other good thing too. So that's why I'm really looking forward to all that, man. So, but no, man, I'm going to throw it back to you, dude.
Yeah, I don't have much to say, man, about the basketball front. I did see one of our viewers who had hit me up in the stream. He's in here. I'm just waiting to see what his topic was because he mentioned something in the stream. I'll ask him again, and once he, replies, we'll bring him on. I think he was the one who brought up the NBA free agency. I think. I'm not sure about that, but I haven't followed it too tough. I mean, of course, I do know about the Chris Paul situation and everything Smitty said. That's why I threw it to Smitty first. I mean, what was the point? I mean, James Harden. Okay, let me make sure my memory is correct. You move James Harden to point guard, and James Harden almost averages a triple-double himself. Was number 2 in the race for MVP. Probably his best, not even probably, his best season. So now you bring in a true point guard in Chris Paul, which nobody can deny that. But now it's like, okay, so what you built last year, what happens now? You just dismantle that and be like, all right, James, go be James again. I don't get it. I don't. You were doing okay. And listen, don't get me wrong. I like Chris Paul. But is Chris Paul what's going to get them over the hump? I mean, they was already in the playoffs. They already had a slight chance. Not really. They needed a couple other pieces. I don't think point guard was it. Just my opinion, based off of how James Harden was playing. Now, if you would have asked me this 2 years ago, might be a different story. But based off of this past season, I don't know about that. We'll see. But like Smitty said, maybe if the chemistry works, hey, we'll see. But I don't like giving up Pat Bev, man. I like his intensity, his defensive presence. I think somebody in the chat said they gave up Lou Williams also.
Yes. That's the other piece they gave up. So they gave up a lot.
Yeah, Lou Williams was that. I mean, he was like, well, Smitty would like this reference. He was like Vinny Microwave Johnson. I mean, he was that guy off the bench that was some nights you don't know which one was going to score more. Was it going to be Lou or James? And you let that go and a defensive nuisance and Pat Bev. I don't get it. I don't know. I'm not a coach. I'm not a GM. I don't know. I'm just a guy who watches it like everybody else. But I don't get that move. We'll see. But like Smitty said, he covered it. Nothing else really on the horizon that I know about. We'll see what happens with some of these trades. Blake Griffin definitely opting himself out of that contract. That's interesting to see where he's going to land. But I don't know. I'm more worried about football right now. We got a few more weeks before our teams hit training camp. That's what I'm worried about. But Smitty, let's dive into this, man. I mean, where can we begin? I mean, all the topics that we have here are probably going to run together pretty much. So let's talk about the poll first. Let's do that. Then we'll come back into the community and the bickering and blah, blah, blah with the devs. We'll do all of that.
All right.
Now, for you guys that don't know or don't follow me on Twitter, which if you're on Twitter and you're not following me and Smitty, shame on y'all. But I put out a poll. You heard Rex Dixon say himself. He doesn't know for sure at the moment, or he won't speak on it at the moment, what setting online head-to-head would be on. Now, first of all, Smitty, I got to pick with some people out there. And if some of you guys listening are, meet this requirement, hey, it is what it is. Y'all know me. I don't hold punches, but it's all love. I had so many people asking me, what are you talking about? What? I'm like, no, online head-to-head. Now, most people, when you say that, you know what that means. Here's a reason why I look at those people and raise an eyebrow. Number one, some of the biggest Madden complaints or complainers don't even follow what's going on. Let me explain what I mean. How long have we known that MUT and draft champs and those things that you qualify for to get into the tournament will be on competitive? We knew that for a very long time now. Ever since Rex tweeted out that thing, that picture, he basically said, yeah, by default, MUT draft champs will be on this setting. CFM online will be on simulation by default. So when I say online head-to-head, what does that mean? Why did so many of you seem to get confused about that? Like, what do you, it should be on this, it should be on that because guys are competing to get, I'm like, no, I'm not talking about mud. We're talking about head-to-head rank, which is something that I really don't frequent anyway. So it really didn't matter to me. But anyway, I had to get that out there, Smitty, because you would not believe how many people needed me to clarify. And I'm like, okay. Now, number two, it was interesting to see some of the tweets I was getting back, explaining why it should be on sim, why it should be on competitive. Let me give you all the results. Then I'll give you my thoughts, and I'll let Smitty give his thoughts as far as what it should be on. Y'all ready for this? 62% voted competitive. Now, the reason why I wanted to mention that, and shout outs to, you know, a friend of the show, Madden Universe, Relly. It's interesting because me and Relly was speaking and somebody else chimed in. I can't remember who it was, but he says to me, you know, these polls are biased based on who's putting it out there. I said, really? Well, if that's the case, why is it the competitive is holding the lead and it's my poll? Because then Relly said, you know, if Problem put his out, most of those people who follow Problem obviously is going to be heavily competitive. I was like, I see your point, but Sim is not winning. the simulation was winning for maybe 10 minutes the first day. I had the poll run for 3 days, y'all. 3 days. Excuse me. Maybe 10 minutes out of that time, a full 72 hours, was simulation in the lead. 62% to 38%. Now, what that tells me is a couple things, Smitty. Well, we always say the simulation crowd is not as big as you thought. But also, it's a little bit of a mixed bag in there because shout outs to DJ. He's here in the chat. Shout outs to guys like Moonlight Swami, another friend of the show.
Mm-hmm.
He made a good point. And let me go ahead and reveal my thoughts as well so y'all can understand where I'm coming from. Now, it's a little biased because I don't play online rank that often. Y'all know why. Y'all have seen me play in past years, and you know why I just don't go out there. I'll go out there every now and then, but I just really don't care about that. So I was a little biased to it because I didn't care. But I might have to say competitive probably should be the setting. Now, here's the reason why. Based on what Rex Dixon is saying, competitive is focused a little more on stick skill. Whereas simulation, me and Smitty understand this, but let me make sure you guys understand. Rex also said publicly that simulation will have more of the random situations because it's more ratings based. Now, a lot of you guys might say, well, why would it be random? Again, we're talking about a video game. How do you determine good plays, bad plays, percentages, if there's no type of formula or any type of dice roll? I know we all hate it. Y'all have heard me say numerous times in the past, I hate the dice rolls, but honestly, after even Rex and some engineers broke it down to me, they literally was like, Sam, there's no way a game could ever, any game could not have some type of dice roll variable. I was like, you're right. So that's why they have ratings, thresholds, et cetera, formulas to decide who wins, who loses. Look at right now, the DB wideout interactions. Think back when Madden 17 launched, not what we saw throughout the cycle. When it launched, could we not all agree that the beast receivers were making better plays? The weaker DBs were getting beat. Those dice rolls were playing out correctly. So I get it. That's what simulation is. Head-to-head ranked, if you're not in CFM, just think about it. Because there's another little nugget I'm going to throw in here real quick, Smitty. Think about CFM. Smitty remembers this. A couple years ago, I sat in that office. Me and Smitty was in there. And I said, Rex, I got an idea for you, man. And it just dawned on me, Smitty, that what we said actually came to fruition. I said, Rex, I know you guys, maybe not you guys, but I know marketing and things like that are a little nervous with labeling. How about you tailor CFM to be a simulation experience? Like even maybe change the name. Maybe you call it the full-blown authentic NFL experience. And then you could do whatever you want in CFM. Because my argument was most people who play CFM are sim guys. Not everybody, but most people are. We want the injuries. We want the progressive fatigue, which isn't there yet. Still need that. But we want all of these things, the training and all that stuff to matter, performance. We're sim guys, right? Now look at what they've done, Smitty. I didn't even realize this until a few days ago. CFM is the default for simulation. So Rex has actually snuck my idea right on in there. Very slick like. So my point is, I want it to be simulation there. Everything else, like if you choose to play the game outside of the NFL experience, I don't have a problem with it being competitive because stick skills should be paramount. Now, I know some of you guys are probably going to say, no, that's not right. Penalties and all that should matter. I get it. But when we're given the options the way they're presented, I can only go off of what I'm hearing. Once we play the game, maybe a different story. But if Rex is saying that ratings and things like that in some cases could be overridden a little bit because the stick skill is really what's important, I can understand why you would want that in competitive and also head-to-head online because it's the stick skill is what's paramount. To me, ratings and all that stuff playing out appropriately is probably more suited for CFM because don't get me wrong, I know Smitty will echo what I'm about to say. We both feel like online it should be there as well because we are sim guys through and through. But at the end of the day, you're playing this guy one game. You know, you jump in the lobby, you play that guy, and it's over. It's like, I hope y'all get what I'm trying to say. It's like the full sim experience. I mean, for that one game, how much of it is really, you know what I'm saying? Like, how much is it really going to play out? So I could understand something like that being competitive. So I really didn't have a vote in it, Smitty. I just feel like I see the competitive side of it because the mode that I play, which a lot of us play, online CFM, will be on simulation. That's where I'm going to be at anyway. So I get it. And also the last thing I'll say before I throw it to Smitty, a lot of people were saying that guys who play out there try to get up on the leaderboards. You know, I think, you know, if I'm not mistaken, y'all can correct me. I think you qualify for the tournaments based on how you perform in MUT and Draft Champs. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure if regular online ranked games get you in there. But if they do, if that factors in at all, being that the tournaments are on competitive, online rank should be on competitive. I mean, for those people who are going to try to achieve that. I don't. So that's just my 2 cents on it. What you think, Smitty, man? Which way would you have voted? And explain why.
I mean, I definitely voted sim, you know, without question. Definitely had to vote sim on that. But, you know, competitive play is more casually accepted. So it's going to get outvoted.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about it. Like, and the reason why I say casual is because think about this. Okay. I was watching Shakedown, you know, shout out to him. And this is, you know, this is the irony of it all. I was watching him play Madden. He plays the game casually. He said he's casual himself. He said it firsthand. Now, the funny thing was that we put it on the arcade setting, and the plays that and from how it was explained by Christian McLeod, it sounded a lot like how these competitive guys speak. I don't want to drop INTs. I don't want to make every catch. I want to throw perfect passes. I don't want to, like, all those things. That's what happens in arcade. So it's like that whole casual competitive is, you know, they're not that far off from each other. So when you put it on a broad scale, you have a lot of people that just, man, I just want to pick up the sticks and play. Man, I just want to pick up the sticks and have fun. And people identify with that competitive play because that's what's broadcasted on television. People, the whole definition of competitive play is the Madden tournament. So those numbers are going to be a lot higher. Think about it. If the tournaments were sim tournaments, if it was simulation style tournament, then that vote would have swung a completely different direction. See what I'm saying? So it's like, what's the popular term in general in terms of how it's received or perceived? It's pretty much, they look at it as an arcade, side, an arcade side of it. So that's why that's why people have that perception of it. But like my man VF has said here in the chat, default CFM, yes, that mode by default should be simulation. But at the same,
thank you, boy, for that one. Y'all know I usually don't take credit, but Smitty remembers that. I drilled that. I was like, look, if y'all want to hide it, because I know marketing is scared, just tailor it to CFM, and I'd be darned if they didn't do it. I'm just saying. Sometimes I gotta step in and let y'all know how we work out there.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, when it comes to any of the other modes, like for example, it would be cool to be able to play MUT and have a simulation style setting to it, because then that means the ratings of your cards will stand out a lot more, right? That just will make sense to me. See, that's the wild thing about it. And I mean, when we speak with Madden Universe and other guys, and we was talking even at EA Play, in all brutal honesty, that whole separation, it really isn't as big of a deal as it's made out to be. Because why do these competition players get these particular cards? They get these cards because of their ratings, right? Oh, I got this gold so-and-so, and I got this card, and I got that card, and blah, 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 right? So if this is what is going on, then people want that, they want the player ratings to stand out, right? If this guy has a high tackle rating, if this guy has a particular trait or something like that on his card, you want to see all that stuff play out when you're playing for money or playing on a tournament. That sounds no different than simulation setting, where all the ratings and traits and everything are held true. So what's the problem? Now, see, this is where this is where the problem's going to come in. Let me just jump to that. Let me just jump on that now. When Madden 18 comes out, you're going to see the problem live, vivid, and in color. Because people going to whine and complain, oh, I can't do it.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as they do all that, especially on competitive setting, that's where the beauty of it all is going to come out at.
Yep.
The beautiful thing is, what setting are you playing on? I'm playing on competitive. All right, bet. We're going to tune it for you. Just like I said the other day, at EA Play, or the other 2 weeks ago, whatever, dudes was in line at EA Play. You had a guy that was playing it on sim setting, couldn't handle it, and they straight up all said, Rex and a few other people from our league or whatever that were there, and straight up told them, well, turn the setting down. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Don't play on simulation then. Play on arcade or competitive. So, see, that's the whole thing. You got people that just want to be able to execute. They want to be able to take the worst team in the league and execute like the Patriots. Arcade, competitive. Those are your settings for that. But if you want to play with a bad team or whatever and think you just about to just be this overachiever, then I guess you need, if you want to play on sim, then you better put it on rookie. Because if you go up any higher than that, I think, well, I didn't test it on pro, so don't quote me on that. I don't know for certain, but I know at least on all pro and all Madden, you're gonna get spanked. Especially if your personnel is not as good as their ratings speak to versus the opposition, you're gonna catch it. So that's the whole thing, man. But and I mean that's why I push so freaking hard for those settings, for that segmentation. As soon as I saw it in Tiger Woods back then, this must happen in Madden. Because people say they need to make 2 different games and all that. I'm like, no, just put all the settings in one product. Give all the options right there. So essentially, you're giving people that game within the same product. Just choose the proper setting that is tailored to you the best and play through that. That's it. So I'll throw it back to you though, Sim.
Man, we got Hollywood Sports that's gonna come on, man. Let me shoot him his invite. We definitely happy to have Hollywood on, man. A lot of times he's unable to always be here live. You know, a lot of times he's caught up with work and other things. So we want to get him in. But here's the funny thing, Smitty, that people don't seem to get. It's like, it's not like the ratings are not going to matter on competitive. There's still going to be, you know, other things it's still going to help determine what's going on in the game. But basically, you know, it's just like Rex said. Rex said that it's just the stick skill will get a little more of a boost. That's it. I mean, if you listen to the most recent podcast from Four Verticals, he definitely has discussed that. I'm looking for something else here in the chat, man. I wanted to chime in on Smitty. Let me see if I can find it. I definitely wanted to chime in. Man, it was one of you guys mentioned something about this setting, and I wanted to say it. Maybe I'll wait until Hollywood gets on if I can't find it. But I'll keep talking while I'm looking. The thing is, online ranked, I saw Ray said this. Most people don't even play a sim style on that anyway. They really don't. And again, when you think about it, the sim guys really are just interested in CFM and building a team that way. Not all, because some of us sim guys jump out there and mutt. But like I said, I can understand why it would be on a certain setting. But we have Hollywood on, man. I'm definitely want to bring him in. And while he's doing that, I'm going to look for that point I wanted to chime in on. And
video on here.
After that, I'll come back to you guys and let you know what my thoughts on or whatever this is I'm trying to find. Well, Hollywood, man, we happy to have you. It's okay if the video doesn't come up. We can hear you fine. So whatever you got for us, man, feel free. Yo, you there? Can you hear it?
Hey. Hollywood.
We can hear him.
I hear the keyboard, but
yeah, I can hear him.
He was talking to Smidge. Hollywood.
Hollywood, can you hear it?
Go ahead.
There you go. You sound a little bit far away, but we can hear you though.
Was he talking to us or was he talking to somebody else?
I don't know. We'll wait for a moment, man, for Hollywood.
All right.
But
testing 1 2, testing 1 2, testing 1 2.
We hear you, bro. Can you hear us?
He don't think he can hear us.
Yeah, I don't think he can hear us yet.
So I'll type
a message. Yeah, I was saying like.
So y'all bear with us for a moment, man. I'm gonna look through some of you guys' comments because one of you guys said something that I wanted to talk about, man. Hold on, gotta find it. So we're just waiting for Hollywood to come in here, guys. Y'all bear with us for a moment. Like I said, we don't get to speak to him often live, so we definitely want to get him on here. Any of you other guys, man, that want to come on, man, definitely feel free.
Oh, were you talking about the esports rules? Like make rules? Because I know that was one thing you were saying.
I think that might have been it.
Yeah, this guy Louis Petit Ferrer or what have you.
I think that was it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like I get it. I get what everyone is trying to say, but what we have to understand is, and this is what I wanted to say. I'm remembering it now. We're basically giving our opinion and thoughts based on what is presented now. Keep in mind, we're discussing what we had. It's not about what should be there, what shouldn't be. We all know that answer. Because I saw one guy talked about, there should be options. It should. And this is what I was telling people when I put out the poll. That's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you specifically on Madden 18. What is the point of answering the question about what should be there and it ain't there? That's not giving an answer. What definitely should be there, and I've definitely talked to Rex about this, so has Smitty, when we've been in Orlando. We need to have lobbies again. We need to have communities again. And that solves everything. There needs to be an option where you can go in to online ranked or play a friend or what have you, and you can choose, and maybe you will be able to do that unranked. But there should be a ranked lobby and have the appropriate setting. Ranked lobby for simulation, arcade, competitive. That solves it all. As of right now, they don't have that. So it's not about, it's cool to give that feedback, but it's not about going with that as your answer, because they're not doing that right now. Smitty and I have been pounding the table on that for a couple years. And it's just, honestly, man, what we keep hearing is just not high on the priority list at the moment. It's a little more work than people expect for them to get that with the networking and all of that, especially now since they've changed, you know, how they broadcast the games. Y'all notice that if you have a strong connection, you won't lag out, even if your opponent is lagging. It took a lot for them to do that. So now, maybe now introducing play styles, if that goes well, then I'm sure the natural progression would be, okay, we got to give people more options online. They know they got to do it. It's just not there yet. And I think, Smitty, too, that's the misconception, is people don't realize, or they don't think that EA is on top of it. Like, they know all of that. Trust me, everything that we talk about, they know that, and they want to do it. It's just a matter of getting it done. But that would be my thoughts on that. I fully agree, man. I fully agree that there should be a lobby. You should have the option to choose what style you want to play in. Absolutely. But that's not how Madden 18 will launch. Now, maybe if they can somehow sneak it in, that'd be great. Maybe if they can patch it in, that would also be great. But Rex specifically was saying they're trying to figure out what setting they're going to have online ranked. Essentially the play now version of online. Not MUT, not draft champs, not CFM, just online ranked. And according to the poll, and actually let me give you guys actual numbers, there were 2,017 votes, 62% went with competitive. And I was even told by some sim guys that they chose competitive, and they explained why. So there you have it. Well, Smitty, while we wait for Hollywood, man, I guess we can move on to the next topic. Let's talk about, are we taking games for granted? This might lead into the next topic as well. I copied down one of you guys' chats. C Mad at me basically said, expectations are not too big. Technology has caught up with gaming companies. 1 year dev cycles are not enough time to give us the experience we accept. I definitely want to cover that as well when we go into the expectations part of it, because that's an interesting statement that he made right there. But as far as, do we take them for granted? I think sometimes we do, Smitty. And shout outs to Silent Gamer, VF. I saw him and a guy tweeting this today, and I was like, I feel exactly that same way. Let me put it in perspective. It seems like our community, and not just us, let's just say the sports gaming community, because I saw it crazy today, even with MLB. A lot of times it seems as if we spend a whole lot of time complaining about the game, cussing out devs, or what have you, instead of enjoying the game. And there go Hollywood. I'm gonna bring you in just a second, Hollywood. In the meanwhile, it's like, do we take time to accept what the game is actually delivering? I'm gonna hold off on that though, because I want Hollywood to get in first, but I'll give you a quick example before I go further into that. Looking at the MLB The Show stream today, some people are saying Ramon needs to be fired, and I'm like, okay, this dude is a community manager. He's not even a developer. But people were upset about, I had no idea because I'm not in that community, but they are mad because the way MLB displays your your hit timing. And they showed on the stream how it happens in real life and how the verbiage comes up in MLB. And people were literally that mad. And I'm like, but when you play the game, you can see yourself why it went to the left, or why it went straight up, or why it went opposite field. So who cares what the wording says? Who cares that it says late, barely early? I don't know. But again, I'll dive into that a little bit later. I want to bring Hollywood on while we have him because I know he wanted to discuss the last topic. So, Hollywood, come on in, man. All you got to do is just unmute and what you
Can
got
you guys
for
hear
us,
me?
man? Yeah, we can hear you.
So what was the last topic you guys were talking about?
We were just talking about Madden in terms of what setting online rank should be on.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think head-to-head should be also on competitive because you know, they have more user capabilities. And plus, I want to play same versus same. You know, most of us simulation guys, we want the ratings, we want everything included into the game, just like the NFL. And a lot of competitive guys don't want that. So if I'm gonna play competitive head-to-head online, you know, most likely it's gonna be competitive. So, you know, if you have it simulation, guys gonna be trying to user a lot of times being you know, doing competitive. So when they try, they want to use everything they can. So it should be competitive, you know. Simulation, we can deal with, you know, relying on the CPU or whatever. We can deal with the drops and stuff like that because hey, it happens in the NFL. But competitive guys, they don't want to hear about drops and holding penalties and things like that. So if it's going to be online, most likely it's probably more fair to have it competitive, and then you really can be competitive on your stick skills.
Yeah, man, because that's a good point. Because here's a question I'll throw at you, and then Smitty can answer it as well. And the chat. Think about this. Do you really like randomness? Think about it. Even as sim guys, sometimes we get pissed when the random stuff happens. So until the game gets to a point where the randomness is more justified, is deeper ratings, deeper traits, deeper responsibilities, how else can they differentiate? Because you have to remember, they did a separation of these play styles, which we all asked for. So why are we trying to dictate so much what goes on in the other setting? Because there's guys that's doing that to us as well. Smitty knows this. I ain't even gonna say his name. It's a fellow game changer that kind of got on my nerves this week. Because this dude, every time we talk a simulation, here he come trying to tear it down. Like, why are you worried about that? Like, get up out of here. Like, I literally wanted to say that to him, but I chilled. I was like, dude, why every time we are talking about simulation, here you come trying to tear things down? We don't listen. Go over there. Go do what you're doing. And I hate to see some of us sim guys do the same thing. We asked for this, so let's worry about our setting.
That's right.
But yeah, Hollywood, that's the question. How else do you think they could make these different things work if they don't give and take in certain areas?
You just got to accept the way it is. I mean, you can't try to get your opinion and your thoughts in every mode on what you think it is. Just deal with simulation if it's simulation. If it's competitive, just deal with competitive. Don't try to convince each other how things should be in each mode. You know, you can't go in competitive mode and say, you know what, that's not realistic. It's not like the NFL. You can't accept you control everybody. You can't control, you know, if that's what they want, hey, if Rex can give it to them, let them give it to them. But hey, as long as the simulation is good and I can play sim, hey, that's fine with me. You can, competitive guys can do whatever they want, you know, their tournaments, all that stuff, man. Hey, I just want some sim. I just want replication of the NFL. That's what I want.
Exactly. And I definitely agree that the game should just be built that way. We all agree with that. But this is what they've decided to do, so we got to deal with the separation.
Right.
Smitty, what are your thoughts on that, man? I mean, how else, again, like I asked Hollywood, how else are they going to be able to allow certain things to happen here that doesn't happen there if there's not some type of give and take? Like, you have to take something from competitive or give something to competitive that simulation doesn't have. So how do you deal with that? What's your thoughts on that, Smitty? I think Smitty is muted, guys. So we'll come back to Smitty. Anything else you got for us, Hollywood, man, before you go?
I like to go back on the live thing. You know, a lot of people, you know, they want certain things in Live 18. You know, they want edited rosters. They want all this different stuff. But, hey, man, we just need to be happy that Live is back. And this is the first year they're back, and we can't expect them to give us the whole ball of wax getting back into the game. So I think everybody should be patient. Just glad competition is back. Just be glad that Live is back. They're in the game. They're communicating. They're trying to give us what we want. Hey, and it's a start. So I think people just need to understand. What if Live didn't come out this year? Then people would be complaining again. So let's just accept it. They're back. Everybody's excited. Hey, they'll slowly build upon what they got, and we'll go on from there.
Yeah. I just came back, so good to see you on board, Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? I know it's usually difficult for you to get on, and everything. So it's cool to have you on. It was great. It was great finally being able to meet. You know what I'm saying, at a EA Play and everything. That was awesome. That was awesome, man. But like you just said, though, Live is actually back. And that's what I was saying earlier on. Like, you have options. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I feel that we'll have two good options with, between Live and 2K. You know what I'm saying? They'll both games will trade off accordingly, and just take it for what it is and have fun with it. Not sit up here and just be mad and all that stuff, because you got people. You got people that are going to pick the games apart, especially when Madden, it's a yearly thing with Madden. Madden's the only football game out, so of course that game's going to get picked apart. But it really sucks right now because there's no footage out to really go over. And, other than that bad off-screen footage that was out there where dudes are dissecting it that really don't know what they're talking about. So, but I mean, I don't know. Like, I really don't have too much more to say on it at this point. I'm just really looking forward to the demo in August. So that way we'll have, everybody will have a chance to get their hands on the game at that point. And then us that have had the chance to play it, will be playing, a more refined version of the game. Even from what the devs said at EA Play, they said the game was going to be a lot more refined at that point. So it's going to be a lot more cleaned up. So that's why, everybody that gave their feedback, especially there at the event, giving that feedback was very key. So that's what's up. And they were highly receptive of everything that we were talking about. So that's critical.
Yeah, man. I just don't get the tearing down of games. I do not understand it as far as, they should just stop. Well, no, they shouldn't. We don't want them to stop. Even if you don't like Live, wouldn't you rather see Live do something that make 2K feel like they want to stomp them in the ground? Yes, because then we win. Look at the niece right there. Right. But yeah, man, I don't understand that logic. Why would you want that? I don't get it. People kill me with that. Man, they should just give it up. Okay, and so you just want 2K. Because again, people feel like that game don't have no issues. I guess there's those folks. But the goal is to have multiple games in each genre. I so wish we could do it in the NFL. The NFL is happy with EA, guys, and that's why I had Smitty repeat what he said earlier. EA is not holding a gun to the NFL's head. They're not. They don't have that power. They do not. The NFL wants to be in position with EA Sports. 2K cut their own head off when they cut the price of that game. We know this to be fact. It ain't just speculation no more. Smitty and I know this. The NFL was like, okay, that's how you're going to go? Okay. We're going to make this license exclusive, and we're going to rock with EA. It's just that simple. But guess what? The license is not fully exclusive anymore. Somebody else can jump in there, but they ain't going to do it because they got eyes just like we do. The NFL and the EA Sports are definitely in bed together. No question. It's almost pointless now for another. Honestly, it's almost pointless for another company to try to get in there now. That window has closed because Not saying they couldn't make a good game, but come on, man. Even if the mighty 2K came back, y'all think that game right out the gate, the very first one, gonna kill Madden? No. So what's gonna happen if Madden feels pressure? Not Rex in them, but the suits. Oh, we got a little competition. We got to kill them. Guess what's gonna happen? Then Madden gonna go to the next level. For all of you guys that feel like they hold back, then what would you think would happen when competition came? So there's no killing Madden at this point. And best case scenario, we get another game in there. They're both good, and then we can decide which one we like. But worst case scenario is probably what we already know. This will be the only NFL football game for video games on console, PC, whatever you want to call it. That's it. It's going to be Madden. Hate to spoil you guys summer, but that's it. But Hollywood, before you go, man, did you have anything else for us tonight?
Not really. It's just that you would think with all the Rex talking, all the interviews you guys have done, that people would be more educated now about what's going on with Madden and the development team and things like that. People still aren't getting it. They still saying, you know, they're hiding gameplay. They still saying it's the same as Madden 17. I mean, it's just the stuff you hear. I don't get it. I mean, you guys are always trying to communicate. You guys was doing broadcasts during EA play. I mean, people just should. I don't know why people just aren't getting it by now. They still think Rex and them are lying to them. They think Clint's crooked. I mean, the stuff you hear just doesn't make any sense. So, you know, that's what I kind of wanted to talk about. But it's amazing. Even the comments I get on my videos talking about, you know, when I talked about the 27 reasons why Madden 18 ain't close to Madden 17. And you look at my comment section, man, you look at some of the comments in there, woo, it's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, welcome to the club, bro.
And it's just that you would think people would kind of understand now, but they just don't. They still think, you know, then they want to call you a sellout, and EA must be paying you. And I'm like,
I wish they would. I'm waiting for the check.
Man, you in the club? You in the club now, Hollywood? You in the club, man?
I wish they would, man. I'll tell y'all right now. I wish EA would grease my palm.
Hey,
I'll take it. Me and my family would take it.
Yeah,
I would be happy to do it. I still wouldn't sell out. I still would talk my talk, even with them paying me. But as many times as people told me I work for EA, I wish that was true, because I would have a lot of checks right now. But whatever.
That's pretty much all I got.
Well, man, we definitely enjoyed having you on, man. I know a lot of times, like you tell us, you're unable to get on. So this was a special moment, man. So I wanted to give you as much time as possible.
Hey, man, it's awesome being on this show, man. It's a pleasure. You know, we get to watch the show, but when you actually on the panel talking, it's amazing.
I appreciate it, man. Guys, do like Hollywood did and like Zulu was about to do. Come on the show. It's for y'all, man. I want more people to be on. And like Hollywood just mentioned, I actually want to do more panels where we could have a full 8-man panel, 6-man or whatever, and that's the show. And we just talking about whatever. It's a community show, so be a part of it. I mean, I'm not trying to call anybody out, but if you can listen to it and you're sitting down at your computer or your phone is in your hand and you're not busy, you can call in. You don't have to just chat. Don't be shy, man. It's all love. You ain't even got to show your face. You can come on and just speak. But please come on, man. This is the reason why we do the show, is for you guys to speak and have a voice. And there you go. So Hollywood, we definitely appreciate you, man. For however long you're gonna listen to the rest of the show, we appreciate that support. And
if you don't mind, can I hang around in case other subjects come up?
Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, you good.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we got Zulu on here, man. I already know this gonna be good because Zulu always blessed. Zulu has actually, and I don't want to put him in a box, but Zulu has taken over that role. 757. Always blessing us with a different angle, but kicking that knowledge on us. So, what you got for us, man? How's your night, man?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, first of all, shut up, man. Hollywood, what's happening, man?
What's up, man?
I mean, I love your stuff. I don't get to tweet at you like I used to, but I'm still up. And I'm still checking your stuff out.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. That's awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, I was over here trying to cook dinner, trying to watch the show, and I had no business trying to watch the show and cook dinner, and y'all get me all hyped and stuff. Okay, so there are two things that are linked together that I think Rex is going to have to deal with long term. And I think it's symbolically, it's like the previous play thing discussion. That's like the symbolic part. But the poll gets right to the heart of it. That I think there's going to be a point down the road that Rex is going to have to talk to some people and figure out what their central audience is. And what I mean by that is that in the lobby, in what we used to call the public room, in the lobby, you have the wild, wild west. You can do anything you want. But a lot of people, aside from, you know, that being kind of a space for experimentation, a lot of people go there to figure out how to play the game. Right now, we don't have a viable practice mode, whether that be in CFM or the actual practice mode that's attached to the larger game. So they'll go to the lobby just to figure out how plays work or how, you know, the new physics work, and particularly for Madden 18 with the new Frostbite engine, that's going to be a very important place to go. So just by virtue of having the lobby be, I'm going to call it arcade mode right now, for it being kind of an arcadish space right now, you're going to have people assuming that that's the default or that's the typical approach for the game. So I don't play a whole lot in the lobby. Like I might play in the lobby when the game first drops just to get a sense of the speed or whatnot. Then I jump back into my community. But a lot of folks, they go back and forth. And I think that EA has an opportunity to really cultivate their next, you know, let's say 5 to 10 years, their next wave of gamers. You can bring in a lot of new gamers by having that public room, that centralized space approximate how you envision the game. So sure, it could be on competitive, but is that Rex's vision? I mean, to me, I love the fact that we have 3 different modes, but you still got to have you still have to commit to your overall vision. Mm-hmm. And like I said before, when I started out and I talked about, well, you know, this is kind of symbolic of that previous play discussion. I'm straight up sim style. I mean, that's the way. I mean, I've been sim style since Madden 99 when I got into franchise mode and I really got into it. Then Madden 2004 when everyone got to go online. But I'm very competitive. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a misnomer to say that the divide between sim style and competitive guys has to do with the level of competition or the level of manual play. I think it does come down to, if you're going to use it like an NBA analogy, do you want a 3-point line or not? Do you want to be able to hand check or not? Are there certain penalties like the, you know, X amount of seconds in the key? Do you want that called or do you not want it called? I mean, you have to have a vision for your game, and I think the previous play argument, I think that factors in as well. I mean, as a competitor, it never made sense to me that I could see somebody's play after they called it. Now, if you're talking about at the, you know, like at halftime, and they gave me percentages about dude is hitting you with the slants, like, you know, 40% of the time, dog. You're like, if you gave me that, I'd be peace. But again, this has to go back to, like, to me, I'm not going to argue with Rex as he says, well, you know, the public room, that's going to be, we're catering to guys who want to play that public room style, a little bit more wide open, cool. But my argument is always going to be, okay, cool. If that's your vision, cool. But if it's not, then how do you expect to train the next generation of Madden gamers to play sim style? So that's like my opening thought. So to me, it's not about yes or no, and we're going to argue and fight about it. It's okay. If yes, then what does that mean? If no, what does that mean?
Yeah, man, it's what you said was very key. And again, this is why I like you guys to come on, man, and share different perspectives. It's all about what is the game going to be at its core. And Rex actually explained this. It's not like competitive totally goes away from the core game. It's not like you're not going to get a good game on competitive. Now, arcade, that's a different story because that I won't never go there. But I saw a lot of guys who were actually at EA Play who were sim that played competitive and enjoyed it.
Yep.
So that's what it always comes down to. And I think that's the way we need to start viewing it and keeping our eye on them to see if they're maintaining the focus. If we ever see the game start shifting, then that's a different story. But we're merely just talking about settings. You know, that's it. That's all we're talking about is, all right, if I put it on this setting. I mean, think about it. When we played 2K, and here's the funny thing. 2K did that before Madden, and nobody seemed to say anything. They had casual, they had default, they had simulation. Nobody seemed to say anything. People just chose where they wanted to play. They put it on Superstar or Hall of Fame, which I don't know how y'all do that. And they rocked out. But it's all now Madden is trying to remember what Smitty and I said 2-3 years ago. Man, they need to do what NHL is doing and offer these different settings. Man, they need to do what FIFA is doing. Then this year we said, whoa, NHL took it another level. Okay, man, I'll give y'all a couple years to get to that with the actual sliders. Because I know y'all ain't coming with that in 18. So what's the problem? I don't get it. But you made a good point, Zulu. Smitty, I know you want to chime in on that. Let me give you guys a heads up. We about to bring on Silent Gamer as well. And then Ray, I'll shoot you an invite right after that. Smitty. I can't hear nothing. Smitty. Yo, Zulu, can you still hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I don't know what happened with Smitty just now.
I can see him on the little, window.
I can see him. Yeah, he's unmuted. Hollywood, come on in. Unmute. Oh, I just unmuted you. I think I did. Yeah, there.
Yeah.
Did you have any thoughts on what Zulu just said?
Not really. My son was talking to me in the background, so I really wasn't paying attention on that part.
No, but he basically just covered, some of the other things that we had mentioned in terms of the vision, and like Zulu has been strict on that since we've known him. It's like, where are we going? That should always be what we're judging the game on. I think, and I got to say this because, if I'm going to be put up as one of the voices, sometimes I got to say what I mean. I still feel like sometimes the sim crowd, man, we get delusional and we get twisted on what the goal actually is. Like a lot of times, like we allowed this play style thing to throw us completely off of the mission when we asked for it. So as soon as it came in, everybody going crazy now. Well, why they ain't doing this? Well, how come competitive don't have that? It's because it ain't sim. That's not in the sim setting. Why you worried about that? All we need to worry about, and my biggest advice to y'all is play the game first before you have all of this opinion. Play it. Y'all don't even, the thing is, y'all have no idea, and I'm not saying that on no bragging or boasting. Y'all don't have no idea what this game is until you get to play it. Hollywood does. Hollywood played it. Madden Universe, he played it. PX1 Sports, he played it.
He played it.
But most people that are complaining has no idea what this game plays like. So I say, let's do that first, man, before we just dive in there and tearing stuff down. Let's do that first.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you, Smitty. Go ahead, man.
All right, I don't know why I did that, but okay. Now, what I was going to say was Zulu's point was that the funny thing is, from our hands-on experience, competitive did not feel like miles apart from simulation. Like I said a few weeks ago, for those y'all may not have been on the show with us, I was able, dude, I got 5 sacks. You know what I'm saying? Like they said that the D-line was nerfed or whatever for competitive when we was playing MUT squads. I was able to get 5 sacks.
User generated stunt, by the way.
Exactly, yeah. So And the thing was, I was the defensive coordinator for our team. I wasn't dialing up blitzes like that. So I call very few blitzes. So if I could generate just general four down lineman pressure, and I'm able to get in the backfield on competitive, it felt no different than when I played on simulation. Now, of course, those were juiced up, you know, the overall teams were juiced up for the MUT purposes of playing that demo. But when we played the game and we played on the simulation settings, it just varied on your personnel. But still, we could still generate legit pressure off the line. So it isn't this world apart difference. Sim and shop, we're all cut from the same cloth in terms of how we play, and we were able to shut dudes out. That's why I said sim dudes gonna be able to come together and really shut dudes down. You know what I'm saying? Like surprisingly, like it's gonna be just like how you see how NY Kia be doing his videos and stuff, blasting dudes and everything that don't know what they doing. Same thing gonna happen with MUT squads. You put 3 sim dudes that know what they doing together, and they coordinate and get on, and they on the right page and play, you're gonna annihilate cats out here. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, because because I saw it, and it's good to have somebody answer it real quick before we go to VL. Somebody in the chat here, I'm not blaming him, but he said a lot of people came from E3 and said that Madden 18 was just like Madden 17 and was a roster update. What's your thoughts on it? I'm curious. I just want to know what are your thoughts on it.
Man, yeah, it's a roster. Well, first of all, see, put a hand in front of their face and tell me they could count exactly what's in front of how many fingers you holding up in front of their face, because they blind as a bat. If you actually think what you saw was the exact same thing as the year before, let me tell you this. This is a point, Sim, you made this point before, and this is what's happening with Madden. Madden is getting to that place, like we said, what happens with FIFA, even with PES. You look at it, you just do the plain old, I'm going to walk past eye test. You think it's the exact same game. It doesn't look that much different, but you actually got to play it and have that hands-on quality time with it to start seeing some of those differences, because it's not going to be this mind-blowing OMG, did you just see what happened? Like, it's not gonna be like that necessarily. You gotta spend time on the sticks with the game, man, to really get it. And see, that's the problem with dudes with that clip. Number one, you got dudes playing the game, don't know what the heck they doing, don't even know how they playing. You don't know what setting they're even playing the game on. On top of that, they could be playing it on rookie, on arcade mode. I don't know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So I can't go by what somebody else is saying about a particular, like an earlier build of the game and what settings they're even playing on, and it's off-screen footage as well on top of that. So that doesn't serve any justice. If I capture cell phone footage of live 18, you would think it's 16. Outside of the animations, you probably would think it's 16, but see me standing there in front of the screen playing on the sticks, I could tell the visual fidelity, the way the game felt and moved is completely different.
The feeling of the game is different.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Madden. And the thing is, like what Pete is saying here, like people saying that they got the same, they don't have, even with the 8 teams that we were able to play with at EA Play, they don't have the exact same plays. They don't have the exact same plays.
Not at all.
See what I'm saying? So, yeah, right.
Defense kind of similar. We didn't see the whole thing.
No, we didn't see everything, but yeah, that's the thing. Like offensively, yes, there definitely are different plays in there. So, you know, this is what I'm saying, man. All I'm saying is that, you know, you got to play the game. This is what we said from Jump Street. Ever since we first went down to EA, I've said for longest, whether you want to play the game or not, play the game. If it's for you, if you like what it is that they do, go ahead and cop it. If it's not for you, then leave it on the shelf and play whatever it is that you know fulfills your heart content. If you want to play 2K5 or old version of Madden till the cows come home,
do you think?
Knock yourself out and do you. If Madden 18 is the exact same game to you, fine. But I'm telling you what, just like Rex had said a few years ago, people say it's the same game and all that. He's like, man, I'm gonna get loose on the sticks with this Madden. I'm gonna go ahead and have me a blast. Y'all can have all that. I'm in the same boat. Y'all have all that extra nonsense, and y'all can stay on Twitter all day whining and complaining. I'm gonna go ahead and be playing this Madden and enjoying it with like-minded people. And I'm definitely gonna play some MUT squads with some cats too. Get on there, and I'm gonna play with some like-minded folk that want to do it. And we go ahead on there and have ourselves a good time, man. For real. That's what I'm looking forward to. Seriously. So,
and here's another quick thing, and so you can come in right behind me. I'm just gonna say something real quick. The other thing that's funny is the fact that what Smitty just said. It's like nobody's twisting your arm. I mean, do not go off of somebody else's opinion. Even if I'm telling you what I like about it, what I hate about it, try it yourself. There's a red box probably in every city now. Go try it. A lot of you guys have an Xbox. Guess what? You got, what's it called? The EA Access. Just try it yourself. Don't listen to what other people are saying. Like, the one thing that bothers me, and I'm going to get a slightly deep real quick. My pops used to say this to me all the time. When I was growing up, he used to say, you coming to me telling me what somebody else said, I ain't even listen. And now as I got older, I understand it. Find out for yourself, man. Don't come at me with, yeah, but somebody told me. Okay, that might be their opinion. All I'm saying is we all gonna have an opportunity to play it, whether you purchase it or not. Then you decide. And if you still don't like it, cool. But if I say it's a better game, that's not the gospel. Because maybe the stuff I was looking for is better. There's stuff that you were looking for that might not be there, so the game ain't gonna be good. That's just how it goes. That's why y'all never hear me tell you go buy a game. I don't never say that because I don't know whether you're gonna like it or not. I know what I like, so that's it, man. But yo, VF, man, it's been a long time, man, since we've spoken to you in this fashion.
Oh man, it's been
for us, man.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
All right. Yeah, it's been a long time. I just talked to Smitty about a week ago, but yeah, it's been a minute since we talked on this type of platform. But I just don't get it. Like, I left my old channel, I started a new one, and I wanted to do things differently. And the reason why I want to do things differently because I want to create a different setting to where like-minded people can actually talk about sports. Like you guys were saying, all this people nitpicking, they're worrying about this mode, that mode, what you like, what I like, what Smitty like. Why is that so important? Can anybody on the panel, anybody in the comment section ask me, why is that so important? Why is it so important that the quality of Madden could differ for my pleasure compared to yours? Why is that so important?
It's the only way it's gonna cater to mass people.
I don't get it. I mean, because it's like as soon as I saw on your title said community perception, I wanted to get in on that because of I can't stand people who have different perceptions and make it seem like they're right when it's their opinion. It's like, y'all don't understand that Madden, for me, and I know you might go crazy because of this. Nah, you know, the people who are naysayers and nitpickers, Madden has improved for me since Madden 16. I played 16, I played 17. I'm looking forward to 18, but I know for me, I know I'm not going to play it extensively because I have my own personal preferences, and there's nothing wrong with that. Because I'm going to play it for what I'm going to play for. I might play a little bit of play now, I may play a little whatever, but as far as CFM and all the other stuff, Sim, you knew this since Madden 25. I've always been a college guy.
Yeah.
And from there, if I can get my college games to import the draft classes over to the next game, that's where I'm going to be digging deep in. But that's not to say that 16, 17, and 18 was not a good game for me, because I like the game. It just doesn't give me that, and you can thank Ed O'Bannon for that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, you can thank him for that. So it's nobody's fault but his. But as far as the perception goes, I just I tweeted out earlier, so many people nitpick and they whine about so many things. It's like, this is a video game. Regardless if the game is quote unquote 100% sim, it's going to be problems. It's a video game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to have that glitch. You're going to have that problem. You're going to have that 98 or 99 left tackle miss that block. Hell, in real life, a top left tackle misses blocks. It happens. You know what I'm saying? Dallas Cowboys, look at them, the great offensive line. You mean to tell me Dak Prescott never got sacked?
Right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It just stuff like that just really, it really bothers me. Like I just made a whole video on this whole topic a couple of days ago about, you know, just the community in general. And it's like, you know, for us, you know, I've always looked at y'all as the leaders and the speakers of the community. And me personally, I commend y'all. I've always respected y'all. And I see that we all, especially you guys, came a long way, because now I see where you guys are just distancing. Well, I can't say that. You're getting away from the trolls, the haters, the people. You're not addressing them as much. And that's where it's supposed to, because the like-minded people who want to play football in their football games, those are the ones that should be the ones we talk about. And we need to bring more people in like that. And that's why I bought this new channel on, and that's what I'm all about. I want to do that. I don't want to worry about who's making the next breakdown on such and such play. Why? Why are you doing that at this point? You know what I'm saying? Why are you breaking down, you know, the game in 20 different areas? Like, are you really enjoying the game? I just don't get it. So, I mean, I'm not going to hold y'all up, man. I just wanted to speak on that. And like I said, man, it's a good time now, because you look at where we were when the PS4 first dropped. You know, I like Madden 25, but I really started praising Madden since 16, because I thought that's where we started seeing the really big changes. 16, 17, and now with 18, you really see the changes, and that's what it should be all about. It should be about enjoying the football game and not worrying about everybody on Twitter. Like this dude that was in the comments there that we just blocked. Well, y'all just blocked.
Oh yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, what's all that about? Why somebody got to be a coon? Why somebody got to be an Uncle Tom? Why race is even an issue in gaming? Can anybody honestly understand? I mean, I still haven't got this answer, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna keep banging it home every day. Why my preference, Smitty's preference, Sim's preference, DJ's preference, Race Sports, Neff1, anybody, why is their preference a problem to the nitpicker? Why are you coming at people like us on Twitter about what we like? Why is that important to you? And if it's that serious, leave the community and go play Call of Duty or something. That's all I gotta say, man. I appreciate y'all having me through, man. I want to stay. I gotta work tomorrow, so I'm just gonna listen until I fall asleep.
I'm gonna say this real quick before we drop y'all today. I'm gonna make y'all laugh real quick. Yeah. So y'all saw what dude was saying in the comments, right? The whole Uncle Tom and all this and this and that. He said EA ain't got no black people. I said, bro, I mean, if that matters that much to you, there's a ton of them in that building. Y'all would be surprised. I'm gonna make y'all laugh real quick. They got some real cats in that building. I'm talking about like little Nook in them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They got there's some dudes in there that you'd be like, huh? What? You working?
But seriously though, why is that even an issue when you're trying to play a football game?
Exactly. I don't get it.
I mean, I'm trying to play. I want to play a simulation football game, and I got to worry about the race of somebody who's making the game. I mean, really, how much sense did that make?
Crazy, man.
None. But like I said, man, I got to work, man. I mean, I can't stay home, man. I gotta be up like 30, man. I'm out, man.
Yeah, man. We appreciate you.
All right, bro.
All right, man. Anytime.
Y'all make sure y'all check out his new channel, man. I'm sure you can find him on Twitter. That's Silent Gamer on Twitter, aka Virtual Footballer. Always had good content, man. And he is the epitome of enjoy yourself with what you got. My man has old consoles. He be playing Genesis, anything. You know what I'm saying? So it's like what he said. I really want to dive on that. Is why does it matter what somebody else is doing? I never understood that. And I know, like, you know, the old saying is if they don't hate you, you ain't doing nothing right. So I'll take it because I got them, boy. I mean, I got a lot of haters, which is cool. Because little do y'all know, y'all increasing my views because y'all coming to everything I do. Here y'all come. I know I can count on that. But I don't get it. Like, as a grown man, I don't care that much about what this dude is doing. I don't care. Who cares? So that's very strange to me, man. But I'm gonna throw another question out. I'm gonna start with Hollywood and go down to Zulu and then back to Smitty. We're running to the next point. Ray, I'm about to send you an invite, and also Drizzy Leon, I'm gonna send you an invite and bring y'all in. But coming to you first, Hollywood, do you think our expectations are a little too high? And let me preface the question. I wanted to read what my man sent to me earlier here. Let me get back to his question. It was see mad at me gamer. He says technology expectations are not too big. No, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. He says expectations are not too big. Technology has caught up with gaming companies, and 1 year dev cycles are not enough time for them to give us the experience we expect. Now that's very interesting to me because in a nutshell, that answers the question. That's exactly what I'm going to say. But do you feel that our expectations are a little too high in terms of the things that some of the things that people in the sim community are asking for and demanding for that thing to be perfect?
You know, I've thought about that before. You know, are we kind of asking for too much? Are we getting above the realm of a video game? But if I really think about it, I don't think we're asking for too much. We're just trying to get what we see on TV. We're trying to get simulation. We're trying to get replication. I don't think that's asking too much. I mean, technology is all over the place out there, and I think they can get to that point. But you know, the 2 year cycle thing, I thought about that too. But we're itching to get to the next year with Madden 18. Can you imagine us waiting 2 years?
Right.
So 2 years would probably be good, but it wouldn't be good as far as having patience waiting on the game. And then that will open up another can of worms when people say, man, y'all had 2 years open up this game and it still ain't right. You know, that's going to open up more complaints for people.
Yeah. Watch what they're going to do to live.
So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do, you're going to complain. So I think the yearly cycle is good. You know, I think 16 was good. 17 had a big jump, especially in commentary. I mean, the game's going in the right direction. That's all I care about. I wanted to get there as quick as possible, but I'm satisfied the way it's going. I like the way the train is moving. Madden is getting there, man. And Madden is in the red zone right now. They're getting there. And now that we have Frostbite, I think the capabilities to get us where we want to be is even better. So hey, man, I think we're on the right track. I don't think we have too high expectations. We're just going in the right direction.
Zulu, what you think, man?
Well, okay, so on the one hand, I think that well, first of all, the whole social media thing is different than what we had when we were coming up. So that we have a perspective that a lot of cats don't have, right? That if you've only lived in a world with Facebook, then it's hard for you to envision what it was like when there were no patches, there were no downloads. The moment we started getting downloads, it was special. So the ability to voice your opinion after you bought the game, like after you bought the game, not posting something in a magazine and saying, no, you bought the game. You could talk about the game as you're playing the game, and you have direct conversation with the developers. That is unique to our times. And at the same time, the developer, I mean, I think Mutt really helps us to understand where we're supposed to be going. The developers can create like micro experiences while we play. So in some respects, I think our expectations aren't high enough because we get in these silly little discussions about how green is the green grass. And those are small time conversations we shouldn't be having. Like to me, one of the best and worst things to happen to Madden is Mutt. But what Mutt did was open up our mind to the possibilities of the game that, oh, it's not just football. You know, it used to be back in the day when you thought of football, you just booted up. You had maybe 7 teams, right? Maybe 8. And they had generic names and they just went at it. We got modes within the game. That is truly expansive. We need to start thinking bigger. So in many respects, I think our expectations aren't high enough, but we get bogged down in the minutia of how green is the green grass. That's the stuff that causes people to act the fool. They feel entitled to aspects of the game that ultimately are kind of trivial. If we're going to have a conversation about making the game better, that needs to be a comprehensive discussion about the aspects of the game that are important to us. But when you start personalizing it and focusing on the limitations of a developer or the limitations of one iteration of the game versus another, we need to start thinking about the future. And so for me, our expectations aren't even high enough. We need to really get on this. It's almost 2020. Yeah. We need to stop talking about, how green is the green grass and then blocking people on Twitter because their green isn't my shade of green.
Good point. Smitty, what you got? And right after that, Ray, come in right after Smitty, man, with whatever you got.
No, well, what I think is it's, we always press and keep on pressing our points and everything else. Nothing wrong with doing that. Do it constructively and respectfully, of course. But the difference is that this isn't and I mean, I know people will always like to refer to, you pull up NFL 2K5, you pull up Madden, 05, 04, whichever version. Game development back then was a lot simpler. Not nearly as complex as it is now as far as these games being put together. I mean, some of these games have big time movie budgets to get these games put together. Now, Madden is a big project without question. And it's an ongoing developing title. So it's they got to keep on, building up and building up and building up and building out. I mean, look, Long Shot, for example, that's something they've been working on for 4 years. You know what I'm saying? That's a 4-year project. So it's and they're implementing that into a game now. That would have been, right. If Madden was doing something back on PS2 days, talking about we worked on this for 4 years, they wouldn't be able to implement that into the game. Excuse me. They wouldn't be able to implement that on top of what's already there because that'd be too much for the game to handle. The game, Madden, will come out and be 2 or 3 discs long. You know what I'm saying? Just what was it, God of War 2 or 3 that had came out, and it was an HD version. So it was it was either on it was on the bigger DVDs, the DVD-R pluses or whatever, the big 9 gig boys instead of the standard 4.7 gig joints. Because they put a whole lot more on the disc. And that's what I'm saying. They do something like that for that kind of game. Now you're talking about a game that's on a yearly basis, every 8, I would say 7 to 8 months cycles, they're rolling this game out. So it's it's not empathizing, but it's just, I have a level of understanding that, okay, realistically speaking, they got these hurdles and stuff to overcome to get the game to where it needs to be. Just like we talk about FIFA and everything and how far ahead FIFA is. And excuse me, and we say that Madden needs to get there as well. It's going to take them time to get there. That's just the reality because FIFA didn't have setbacks like Madden did. See what I'm saying? And then Rex and them came in. Rex wasn't there back in the day. He wasn't here for Madden back in the day. So it's now he gets that opportunity to really build the game out the way it needs to be. And now, they're going to get there accordingly. And then I'm pretty sure Frostbite is going to help them with getting to that goal quicker to some extent. But even with that, it's still that curve. And that's one thing that people truly are never really going to understand, especially when people bust out the 2K5 and say, this was done in 2004 and y'all can't get it right now. There's levels to it. It's not just simple as people make it. So That's why when you hear from Sim and I, we're a lot more understanding with what it is that's being said and how, you know, how everything unfolds when we talk about it. It's like, yeah, there are things that are frustrating, but at the same time, we get it. And that's why we just try to explain that to you guys as best as we can. And I understand from their position. But ultimately, don't get it wrong for 1 second. Whether we go down to the studio or not, we always email, message, DM, all that stuff. We let them know thoroughly the entire year about what's going on in football in comparison to what's going on in Madden, and saying, yo, from what you guys did this year, how about this? And remember, we spoke about that before. How about now? Like, we always are bringing things up on a regular basis to these guys. So,
yep. Ray, what you got for us, man?
Hey, how's everybody doing? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Got you loud and clear,
okay, man.
I have a question. Hey, what's going on, Hollywood? I have a question for Smitty real quick. Are those reading glasses you're wearing? Are you nearsighted, farsighted?
No, I'm good. These are just for the screen glare. Like, these are the glasses I game with and stuff at times.
I was about to ask God to heal your eyes. But anyway, in Jesus' name. But basically, I want to talk about the simulation and competitive versus mode. I remember I played online. I don't play online all the time, and I think it was Madden 25 or Madden 13, and I was able to choose whether I want to play all pro, all Madden, pro, rookie, or whatever, and they would match me up with somebody that wanted the same preference. And I was just thinking that I'm not saying anything. I don't know anything, but this is just speculation. But Rex Dixon said that on default, these modes would be, he didn't say that you could never change it. And that'd be pretty dope, that instead of just picking all Madden, all pro, I could pick simulation or competitive, even on the online rank and draft champions and head-to-head and all that, you know, interchange it like that. So that's really what I want to talk about. I mean, I'm not sure if it's not confirmed or anything, but I'm just thinking, he didn't say that you couldn't change it. He just said by default it would be like that. So everybody that's in a bunch about what's going to be simulation and what's going to be competitive, you know, it's no really, you can't really get too much into it because you don't know if you can change it or not. So, and also, you know, that's, I know simulation is going to be for CFM because that's what we all want, but you gotta take your modes and your simulation modes and your competitive modes in the wherever they're at and just leave it, because you don't want competitive people diving into CFM and want to change things, and you don't want simulation people that's on the CFM changing competitive modes, because then you're going to have a war, and then things are going to go back to where it was, where we're just going to have one game mode and everybody's going to have their say, and they're going to be patching everything. So keep everything separate, and that'd be great. And that's what I have for today.
Okay. Oh, I wanted to add on. Yeah, I wanted to add on to what he had just said. From me speaking to Christian McLeod at EA Play, I think the way it is, I'm not 100% for certain, but I think from what he had, because I had asked him about that, and I think that the way it works is that if it's one of your friends that you're playing with, then you can play a head-to-head game on simulation setting. But it's not like you could do a lobby. Yeah, that's the thing. If you're playing straight up, it's just competitive. Yeah, it's like that right now. So that's what I believe that's what it's going to be. I don't know if it would be that for certain, but that's how I believe it is. So,
if you guys keep putting those clothes out, they can change it though. They still got time to put it in there.
Yeah, I mean, they could make the adjustment. That's why I'm like, I would like for it to be straight up online, like what you just said. Yeah. If I want to play competitive, or if I want to play simulation, or even arcade, let me go online and go into that lobby based off of my personal preferences.
Exactly. Yeah, bring the lobbies back then. That's what I'm talking about.
Got to do that. We pound the table every year for that. Myself, Smitty, Shop. I mean, every year we are always disappointed with the answer. It's like
you said, Sim, options is always good. You can't go wrong with options.
Can't go wrong, man. You cover everybody. Cover everybody.
Yeah, because you're not gonna be able to satisfy everybody with just one way. You got to be diverse.
Well, yeah, man. We definitely thank you for coming on, man. I know I
appreciate you guys having me on here, man.
Absolutely, man. Always a pleasure. Definitely got Neff on here as well. And before Neff, before you jump in, just wanted to say this real quick, man. I saw a comment that I definitely want to highlight. My man, Willification, I believe his name is. He says, can't deny EA's transparency. They're pretty great about replying to their consumer base, but it just sucks that the higher ups dictate the development of the game. All about back of the box features and not enough gameplay. Guys, is this not what I tell y'all almost every week? The thing I don't understand about some people, how can you not see that? We have never had, at least I haven't, in any other game that I've played, I've never had a developer of a company with devs like Rex and Clint that will literally tell you exactly what's going on. I mean, Rex, I'm pretty sure, and I'm not even going to say this, I don't even want him to get, I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure sometimes the bosses be looking like, hey, come on, man. You know, Rex has told y'all himself that he's almost gotten in trouble because he will tell you exactly what he feels and what's going on. He sat in there in my interview and told you, hey, man, it was a marketing decision. Said the same thing on the Four Verts podcast. And it's like, you still don't believe him. That's what I don't get. Y'all still won't take heed to what the man is telling you. No other developer does that. I mean, we can't even get 2K to talk to us. For real, for real. If y'all want to, let's be honest. There used to be a time where we felt like we could give these guys feedback. They won't even really talk to us. But EA, stick their neck out there. Because no developer is required to be, I ain't going to say EA, those devs. Ain't no developer required to be on Twitter, required to respond. Hell, they're not even required to do an interview. And not only does Rex do the EA Play stuff, he jumps on people's podcasts. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Either you can hate or love what EA is doing. But I wanted to say this real quick before Neff comes on because I didn't want to forget. I'm just not conversating with people anymore that come at me with the whole, the devs don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not, we have nothing to talk about because clearly you're not paying attention and you really don't trust in me because I'm telling you the truth. I ain't never gonna lie. I have nothing vested in EA. I'm never gonna come on here because my integrity is more important to me than anything anybody, company can offer. I will never not tell y'all the truth. I told y'all from the beginning, I am the game changer along with Smitty and Azure. We are the guys who wanted guys like us when we weren't there that will come out here and give you the skinny, like for real. Stuff that other people will never tell you. But yet, you know, you won't accept it. You'll just be like, whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, if that's how you feel, there's nothing for us to talk about. I'm gonna just let y'all go back, you know, chit chat, and y'all notice it because some of y'all, you notice I don't reply back to you on Twitter. I'm a big enough man, I can say that. That's why. Ain't nothing for me to talk about. If you're coming at it from that angle, there's nothing I can do for you because that is clearly not the case. And even if you don't believe in me, when you have the creative director telling you, I'm gonna speak for him real quick. He basically told y'all in my interview, that probably ain't what I would have did. Well, the marketing decision. And he even said just recently on Four Verts, listen, man, we want to show y'all gameplay and this and that, but you know, they want this long shot thing to breathe and live for a while, and then we're gonna have that time. What else is there for you to be asking? So why are you still, you know, why are you still, man, I don't understand why they don't. He just told you.
Yeah, like he said it. He said it clear as day, multiple places. I don't know.
So, you know, if you just don't want to hear that, that's cool. Like I'm saying, I'm not telling you that you have to trust and believe in Rex or anybody else. I'm just saying, even when I don't like something, you know, I got to take heed to what was said. And that's just it. When somebody is telling me exactly what it is, that's what it is. So I had to say that, man. But Neff, what you got for us, man? Hello, hello, hello. Neff.
Yo, Neff, you there, man?
Can't hear Neff. I don't know what happened to him. But while we wait for him, Smitty, did you have anything to add to that? And Philly Chew, I'm gonna send you your invite right now, brother.
No, I really didn't have anything really to add to it because I mean, it was covered in multiple interviews. It was stated on Twitter.
Can you hear me?
What else? Yeah, there we go.
We got you now.
Yeah, there you go. Go ahead, Neff, man. You got it. Neff.
You got it. Go ahead, man.
I unmuted the mic. Can you hear me?
Go. Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead.
What's up, Neff?
Neff.
Enough in and out, man.
Man,
I could taking him out with the fader real quick. Zip, zip, zip.
Hello.
Neff, come on.
Oh, this is on a long delay, man.
Oh yeah, it must. You know what? That's happened a few times when you've been on. I don't know what
long delay.
Oh man.
What's up, Hollywood? I'm here, but the microphone is delayed, man.
What's up, Neff?
I need to know.
Yeah, it's got a
hold up. The microphone seems like I'm on a long delay, man.
Yeah, it seemed like it's extremely long.
I'll get back in there next week. No big deal.
No problem, man. You know it's always open invitation. Or even if you want.
I mean, can you actually hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah, it's just.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I thought you couldn't hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So, no, I was gonna say, as far as this community and jumping out on Twitter and back and forth, man, this is every year. It doesn't matter. It's not going to change. I made a comment on Hollywood's video. It's the same thing. Until somebody else makes a game, EA will always have this issue. They can make the perfect game, everything done. You name it, it's done. And they're still going to have people who got to justify reasons to knock Madden down so they feel like there's something else that could come up. And nothing else is coming up, man. Nothing. I mean, 2K, they could put out a football game. Well, they got every opportunity to do it. Who's stopping them? Oh, that's right. They're stopping themselves because they can't even get their basketball game right. So why is everybody complaining, whining, crying? I haven't played the game, so I haven't made no comments. Until I play that game, I ain't making no comments because I won't know anything until I play it. So a lot of these guys who, they act like they're on a football field at lunchtime with their friends at school, and they got the crowd that don't play football, and they always on the side waiting to play, but no one picks them. And the guys that are playing a serious game over here, they playing. They having fun. But these little idiots over here, they start running around the soccer field throwing the ball at each other because they have nothing else to do. That's what the Twitter crowd's all about. They got nothing to do but throw shots at people, hoping to start an argument so they could justify why Madden isn't all that good. So I'll tell you what. I'll tell them, come to my channel. You want to talk to someone about that, come to me. I'll take care of you. Because I will tell you straight up. See, I'm not going to go off on this channel. I'm not gonna go off here because I'm like Stephen A. Smith's twin. I will say stuff that'll make your head turn. So come to my channel, start complaining there, because I will put you through it. I'm tired of these whiners. I want one by one to come to my channel, man. I'm telling you, I'm not joking. Come here, come to me. Because if you want to whine to somebody, whine to me. I will take care of you. I will make sure you will not even come to this channel ever again, like Jay Diggs.
Oh,
he got booted to the sunken place, and I will put all y'all right up in there with him. So anyway, I'm out, buddy.
Neff is hilarious, man. But yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, y'all know we usually don't even try to cover it, but it goes to show. You saw VF acknowledge it. That's why y'all don't see me. I don't engage on Twitter. Like I said, there's nothing to at this point. I'm only dealing with like-minded individuals, people who are on a path to not just Madden, but any other game, to try to make these games great, give constructive and firm feedback. Now, we ain't talking about don't say nothing. We be firm with it. Y'all should see us when we in there. Smitty, it's times I looked right at them, not even Rex, executives, and I was like, that ain't going to work. That ain't going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, what do you mean? Why you feel that way? Because that ain't what we want. Straight up. But why you think they always bring us back? They want that. You know what I mean? So we want the feedback, give constructive feedback, but all of the cursing devs and wishing people have cancer and all that, I don't get why video games is that serious to you, brother. It's just a game. It's just a game. If it ain't what you want, hey, go do something else. Like, to me, it's a little ludicrous that something that you hate you are constantly involved with. I just don't understand that. I can't put any rationale to that. I don't get it. But I love y'all, man, because like I said, you know, y'all there to view every video and helping me, you know, helping the channel grow, because more people are commenting back and forth with y'all. I love it. So I ain't blocking nobody again. Never. Maybe on Twitter if you get too stupid, because that comes to my phone. But as far as YouTube, I let you say what you want. Keep on commenting. It's your loss, it's not mine. But yo, Philly Chew, man, what's going on with you, brother?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How's everybody doing tonight?
Good, man.
Yo, I was just like, so you guys made a couple good points tonight. Two things, like, and I said this before, like a couple years ago. Been watching the show for a while. Like I said, I don't like a restaurant, and I have a bad experience. I don't go back. You know what I mean? I don't keep going back, picketing in front of the restaurant, telling people don't go in here, do that. That's a waste of time. The other thing is, we talked about, you asked the question, did the community want too much? And sometimes I think that they do. You know what I mean? Like, we want Tom, like, you know what I mean? Like, we want this game to like be exactly like humans making decisions at 100 miles per hour, you know what I mean? And it to look exactly like we want it to look on Sundays. And that's not in a box that costs $400. Like, this not the Watson supercomputer or something. We talk about, you know what I mean, like a PS4. We want everybody, you know what I mean, to react exactly like they got to react, and blocking to be perfect. And that's not the way coding works. Anybody that's been around coding knows that there's going to be bugs. There's going to be things that happen all the time. That, you know, like, that's just the nature of coding. I write code all day at work. You know what I mean? And you fix one thing, you don't realize how it does interact with something else. So I totally understand those things when, and they're coding things that are far more complex than the little data stuff that I do. You know what I mean? Like, right, like it's 22 guys, they're moving around, they're interacting together, and people want this to look exactly like football on this $500 thing. And it's been getting better every year, man. Like, every year, the game has improved, the blocking has improved, the graphics have been 100% better than they were in 25. Think about what the game looked like in 25. You know what I mean? Like, it was all cartoon. It was all cartoony, where people didn't break on the ball. Back to the times where you can have the greatest defensive line out there and get no pass rush in Madden. If people want to complain this game look the same, they're crazy. They're crazy.
It's very crazy, man. And I have a question, and I want you to answer it too, man, if you're willing to stay on for a few more moments. I know we're about to wrap up, but I want to end it with this question. I'll start with Hollywood, and I'll come down the line. One thing I wanted to mention was, we always talk about simulation, right? We all watch sports. People make mistakes.
All the time.
You see it happen in the NBA. You see it in, I mean, the MLS, the NFL, NBA, whatever. So the question, I'll come to you first, Hollywood, is how are we really pointing out flaws in games, or are we expecting everything to be perfect? Because what I mean is, if you notice, as soon as somebody sees a bad play, right, the first thing they want to say is, oh, it's broken. Why he do that? We don't know the ratings. We don't know his awareness. We don't know. And even with all of that, here's my question. And I posed, and me and Smitty talked about this years ago, because I had a play I showed on the Sim Standard channel with 2K5. Do they program mistakes to make it replicate reality? Because we know there's a dice roll and threshold and all of that. So are some of the things that we see, is that their way of replicating a missed block or a drop pass or what have you? Do we take that into consideration, or do we automatically say, oh, that's a flaw, he should have made that block?
I don't think people take that in consideration, because, you know, like the cell phone footage, you don't know what the situation was from the users, what adjustments they made, what they were trying to do. You know, people see mistakes, and then all of a sudden they just say, you know, the game's broken, or it's just like Madden 17. How come the lineman's doing this? You know, Clinton Rex get a lot of videos sent to them. How come the lineman did this? How come he did that? But we don't know what the situation was. I mean, and you have to I think you have to program some mistakes in there, because the lineman ain't gonna make a perfect block every time.
They can.
The running back ain't gonna run his route perfectly every time. I mean, even the route combinations, you know, there's no way for you to know. There's no way for you to know. You just got to play the game and see what happens, or ask questions. Don't just assume, oh, it's just messed up. They keep lying to us. They say they fixed this, but they didn't fix this. I mean, that's my opinion. There's no way you can really tell. I mean, if you want to know, just ask Rex. He'll if he can answer, he can answer. He will tell us. People should know that by now. And even if you don't believe Rex, you should definitely believe Smitty and Sim. They're right here with us. They're not getting no paycheck.
Oh man,
they're not getting no paycheck. They're right here with us, and we, even at our level, you guys aren't believing anything. So it's just amazing, you know. And I saw that I got the EA Play experience and everything. I learned a lot out there talking to different people, and now I see it a lot clearer. It just doesn't make any sense. Maybe, okay, you don't trust Clint, you don't trust Rex, okay, but Sim and Smitty, they're right here telling us exactly what's going on. And so when they answer questions for you guys, now you guys are saying sell out, or you're lying, or you're just biased to EA, or I don't understand. But there's no way you can clearly understand what's not right and what's right. You can't make those kind of judgments. And I think people are just so judgmental about everything. Like, everybody's lying. Everybody's lying. So I don't get it. Everybody can't be lying.
Right.
Everybody can't be lying. It's like Live 18. You know, everybody is lying about that game now.
That's crazy,
you ask for questions, they tell you what's going on, and then you come back and say, no, that's not right, or you're lying, or so I really don't understand.
Hey, none of us we weren't at EA Play, man. That pretty much is it. I mean, the pictures we took, the video footage, all that, we weren't there. So some way, somehow.
And I tell people, I spent my own money to get down to EA Play. Ain't nobody pay for my trip. I don't have no reason to lie for them or whatever. Right? They haven't done nothing for me. I talk to them. They tell me the truth. I believe them. But hey, man, I don't know what to say to people anymore. And I'm getting to the point like Sim. I'm just not gonna respond no more.
Hey,
no point.
That's the whole thing. That's what I'm saying.
You tell them the truth. What's the point when they're not gonna believe it? So if they don't get it by now, they're not gonna ever get it.
Clint will even come out and be like, nah, we just don't have that in the game yet. He'll straight up just tell you that. Nah, we don't have that type of block yet. And I'm like, but then you still mad. Like, what I'm saying is, you can be upset. Me and Smitty get upset every time we go there and it's something that we want that ain't there. Yeah. But when I know the answer, I know the answer. There's no need for me to keep pounding on that when they done told me, nah, man, we ain't got that yet, but, you know, it's coming. All I can do is be like, damn, okay, maybe next Christmas. That's all I can do.
Pretty much. Yeah, because that's all you could do.
I can understand people not being satisfied, but don't try to say I'm scandalous and I'm selling out. That part, you're going way over the line. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
You're actually enjoying something, and if you actually show any kind of positivity and it involves an EA product, that's when you're automatically allowed in that category by some people, not everybody, but you know, it happens. It's happened enough, right? See, it's happened enough now that it's like
best coffee cup ever. I'm sorry. I don't care that it got EA on it. Look, the logo can't even come off because it's inside. This is the best hot and cold cup I have ever owned. It ain't got nothing to do with EA Sports.
Yes.
I'm sorry. But let's real quick, man. Let's get everybody in before we wrap up. Zulu, man, what are your thoughts on to get back to what we actually were saying? Game programming. I mean, some of this stuff, and we all know what flaws are, but some of the missed blocks and things like that, are we a little too critical, or are we accepting the fact that, hey, that might have, it needed to happen because they're trying to replicate mistakes?
Well, I think it goes back to something that you've talked about. Where you'll say something like, it may not be on the stand-up, but it might be in one of your solo videos where you'll talk about the animation. Like you're like, oh, they got to clean up the look of it rather than the outcome.
Right.
So on the PS2 generation, I swear I had my homies over to the crib. We were like, yo, I hate my left guard. I always know he's gonna mess up, and they would laugh like, you need to just sub him out because they programmed that in there. And there's a part of me that does believe that because it was a simpler time, easier to program, that there were intentional, mistakes, missteps made by players or the particular players in the game that were meant to replicate reality. I don't believe that for the PS3. I think that was a bad time for Madden. But for the PS4, these folks are intelligent. These folks are forthcoming. I ain't never had a Twitter conversation with a Madden game developer who not only didn't lie to me, he was forthcoming, told me details. I was like, dang, he took time out of his day, and I know he's dealing with hundreds of thousands of people. So yes, I think it's possible that the PS4 Madden programmers are smart enough and savvy enough and sly enough to have our goofy left guard who we drafted in the 5th round purposely make mistakes. Yeah, I believe that. But more importantly, I also think that we're heading into a different era of gaming where some members of the gaming community can't keep up. Like on the one hand, they're used to, especially if you're old enough to remember a PS3, you're used to being able to manipulate the game with your 5th or 6th round left guard and think you too sweet. Mm-hmm. And now we get into more realism in the PS4. It's like, oh no, son, that dude got like 42 awareness. I don't care what his pass block is. He got 42 awareness. He can't sharpen pencils. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what you're thinking. So yeah, I think Rex, especially over the years, as you hear him speak more often, he doesn't hide a whole lot. He might try to omit saying things, but he don't lie. He don't get on forums like some folks used to do. They would get on forums and misrepresent. So I think that particularly as we move toward 2020, for me, that's a significant date for gaming. But as we move forward into the future, we're going to see a lot more of that. You're going to see a lot more of why did my 8th round, or not 8th round, but why did my supplemental draft, wide receiver do a tip drill to a DB? I don't understand that. You know why? Because he sucked. And you shouldn't have him out there. The game is getting very smart. And I think gamers got to smarten up too.
Absolutely, man. Philly Chew, I'll come to you next, man. What are your thoughts on that?
I just want to say real quick that Zulu's picture looked like Hollywood.
Oh, it's funny.
That's hilarious. It do.
The picture looked like Hollywood. The other thing is I agree with you too. Like I think some of that stuff could be programmed in there. I just hate that the way like you go to these videos of people who are negative about the game, and it's always the exception. It's not the rule, right? Like it's a play that happens once every 30 times. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, we got to get this out of here. They don't show the other 25 plays to play out fine. You know what I mean? And Sim, you've said it a bunch of other times too. Clipping and warping, those things are just part of gaming in general. Call of Duty does it. I'm playing Uncharted 4 right now. Uncharted 4 does it. I downloaded the FIFA demo. FIFA does it sometimes. Some of those things, they don't make the game bad. That's just inherent that people haven't gotten physics all the way down yet. But you know what I mean? Like, I just hate the fact that it's always the exception, not the rule. You know what I mean? It's the one play out of 50. You know what I mean? Dude done combed over 50 games to find his one play so he could put up a negative YouTube video, and not necessarily like all the good things about the game and the game does improve. And then all, people's followers will go, oh, this is the same game. This is trash. That's not true either, So that's how I feel about it anyway.
It's funny, man, because that's, y'all know I do it. Hollywood definitely did it this season as well. That's why we do the film study stuff, man. Yeah. And y'all notice, like we all do it. We show you as times when I used to do it, I slowed down with 17, and I'm just a little burnout at 17, but I'll bring it back in 18. I'll show you sometimes where the play was outstanding. Then I'll show you the next episode, I ain't really like this. Then I'll show you an episode where I was like, yo, this played out good, but I see what they was trying to do, but they need a better way to replicate that.
Right.
And there it is. It's like you said, it's me and Smitty used to always say, and we probably being a little modest, but we used to always say it's the rule of 70 to 75%. We need the game to at least play clean 75, maybe even we bump it up to 80 now. Bump it up to about 80% of the time. You're going to have times where stuff is going to happen. I mean, that's just how it works. But Smitty, man, I probably could even answer this for you, but what are your thoughts on that particular topic, man?
I mean, shoot, like you said, you know, this is all stuff that we've broke bread on before in regards to the game. Ooh, God bless you. But I mean, programming errors into the game, showcasing that marginal error, like that's something that would be pretty hard to replicate. But you look at a game like, ooh, you want to get down? Okay. But you look at a game that's like FIFA, for example, and that's a game that has mistakes replicated in it based off of, but it's not like they just make the mistake. Well, no, sometimes you see guys overshoot passes, or, you know, take bad shots or what have you. They make those errors that you see happen in soccer games. Like you'll have a guy get into the open field. He's beat all 11 of the opposition, and the goalie's right there, and he ends up kicking the ball just wide of the net, or he kicks it up over the goal. You know what I'm saying? That stuff ends up happening at times in soccer. And no, sweetie. And here, play with that. But then at the same time, it does happen, you know, on the football field. So the best way to replicate it, I think it would have to come down to a way of them figuring it where awareness and play recognition and just their natural positioning comes into play, height, weight, etc., momentum based on, like, let's say they overcommitted on a play. They can have great pursuit, but their awareness is not on point. They can mess around and take a bad angle, and then they get beaten. It's like, oh man, why did that happen? You go into the replay and watch it, and then you go look at the ratings and say, okay, you know what? That makes sense. But guess what? Now, when you have your Richard Shermans, that happens to him, and your Marcus Trufants and all that stuff, and your Luke Kuegli's that end up whiffing on plays, it's like, oh man, that should never happen. No, those guys get toasted too.
They do.
Those guys, they all get beat. Even though they are the top end guys, but those guys, they get caught. So that's why I'm saying, like, you got to pay attention to the sport that you are criticizing. I'm like, if you got a problem with something, that's like, I had an issue with a guy that does reviews, and he talked about how the wideout DB interactions were OP. And when they first brought it in Madden 16, and I said, well, name me, I'm like, well, and this was around the playoffs when this point was brought up. And I was like, well, you watch these playoffs, show me how many times those DBs are winning those one-on-one battles in since it's overpowered. And it's like he couldn't refute it. I'm like, that's my whole point. See, people are just saying that because it's not favoring that person. So now it's a problem. Just like someone put in the chat earlier here, they talked about, dice rolls. No one complains when the dice roll favors them. People only complain about the dice roll when it's not in their favor. You see what I'm saying? So that's the kind of stuff that's kind of stuff that people have to understand and have to gain an understanding of when it comes to playing this game. So that's what I'm saying. But that's something that's always going to be ongoing every single year. You know what I mean? So, might as well deal with it and just accept it and roll on. That's why like Sim said, like we always say, just play this game with like-minded people and you'll be good to go from there. So.
It's crazy, man. I mean, that's how I kind of feel. I mean, I think there's definitely some degree of coding bad. I don't want to say bad plays, but plays where guys are going to miss and things like that. Because again, think about it. It is ratings. There's dice roll, and then there's the win-loss percentages. But there are definitely certified flaws. We've all seen them in Madden. You know, one of which, and this is not necessarily a flaw, but think about it. This is one thing that's actually been fixed according to Clinton Rex. And from my experience, it seems like we've all had to play when our fullback, instead of blocking the guy who's in front of him, he just negates him and goes for somebody else. Meanwhile, you lose 2 yards. What I used to tell Clint all the time when I was down there, Clint, I understand how the game works. And basically, for you guys that don't know, the way the blocking system worked at that time, even in 17, the blocking system it's a combination of awareness and also predicting where the ball carrier is going. The first thing it's doing is it's looking at play art. So from there, once it locks on the target, wherever you run, it predicts where your path is going to be, and that's where they're going to block. My challenge to that was like, I don't like that. I said, that's cool, but we got to get it to where it's like real football. I mean, in the real world, that fullback going to block the first person who crosses his face. That's common sense. So now you're going to see better targeting. But you see what I just said there? I learned and understood why it happens. Instead of me just trashing, I asked questions like, yo, why are they doing that? And once I understood it, I still didn't like it. Pissed me off when I played and it happened, but I was like, yeah, well, the game ain't built that way. Now I can give them feedback. See what I'm saying? So there are certified things that are either flaws or bad programming, but not everything is a flaw. And like Smitty said, most of the time people got the biggest problem when it doesn't go in their favor. But, you know, the last thing I would say here, guys, before we close the show, and I'll give everybody, you know, their time to sign off. Here's the funny thing about what we spoke about in terms of the devs. And I think this is very important for y'all to know. Rex and Clint will pretty much tell you what's going on with the game currently and what they're projecting. I didn't get Clint's interview for whatever reason this year. I don't know what happened. I mean, we talked about it. I don't know. I think I was just too tied up with doing other stuff. I got Rex on the first day. But Clint even said in Sports Gamers Online interview, he said next year, or probably next year or the year after, but very soon, they got a plan in place for dynamic weather. Now, why is that important? All of us have been asking for that, right?
Yep.
So they had no problem with telling you, not this year. It's going to look better. It's definitely going to look better. But as far as the effectiveness, because you heard Rex say it in the interview with me, where we really want it, but both you and I want it, it ain't quite there yet. We're going to go after that next year or the year after. He's telling you this. So what can we mark off the list? Dynamic weather affecting the game. We know it's coming. He already told us, right? And this is the thing. These guys have no problem telling you what they're projecting. Rex said a couple years ago, yeah, we got to get player likeness, you know, player types and things. We got to get that, right? Then he turned around and said, we didn't go after that just yet because we still feel like there's more to do with the core. Now, what does that sound like? Y'all hear when I always tell you, man, I want player likeness just like the next man. But what good is the like animation or player likeness or what have you if they still sliding all across the field? If it don't matter, if it doesn't matter, who cares what that juke move looked like? Oh, that it looked like so-and-so's juke. So then what does Rex say after that? You got to get player movement right. He admits this year it's not a total change, but you're going to feel a difference. It's better than 17. And some things that I know that I can't really go into detail about, but I can say this. Player movement will be getting addressed. Trust me on that. They have all intentions at Tiburon to get that player movement pristine. When Rex said a year or so ago, our goal is poetry in motion.
Yep.
They going for that. I'm telling you that. Trust me, they are going for that. 18 will be an improvement, but even Rex said itself, it's not a new system. We just made some changes, and you can feel it. Left juke moves and left analog movement is back. Hollywood probably can contest to that because he played the game. It's back. So that's all I'm saying, man. We got a set of guys in place that tell us the good and the bad. Y'all saw, and people nitpicking my man Rex's body language in the interview. But if you really paid attention to his body language, I hate to speak for him, but you could kind of tell that he's not all that excited that they had to do long shot this year. It should have been clear to me. I mean, if I wasn't me and I was watching this guy SimFBallCritic interview, I'd have said, you don't seem too enthused by that. See what I'm saying? Like, all y'all got to do is pay attention to the man. He's telling you where the game is going. He's telling you when there's stuff put in that he didn't necessarily want to do at that moment. And he's telling you what the good things are. All you got to do is listen. You don't have to wonder no more. Even when it's bad, he tells you. Like, yeah, that was a marketing decision. He told you in those words, I wanted to show y'all gameplay. We wanted to show the game off, but they wanted to do that. No, it should be no other questions to ask in terms of them. So I'm not listening to people who are trashing the devs because I know it not to be true. So there's nothing for us to talk about. But guys, man, heck of a show. Went a little bit over time, but who cares? It was a nice show. I appreciate you guys watching. I thank everybody who came on tonight, man. And I'm definitely going to let you guys sign off. So going down the list, Hollywood, man, any last things you want to mention before we roll out?
I want to go back to what Zulu was saying earlier that, because I thought about that too. What if there wasn't no communication with the devs? What if there was no patches? You just got the game, and the game was the same all year long, no matter how bad it was. What if there was somebody else in Rex's position that said, you know what? We don't need to be listening to people on Twitter in the community. We need to appreciate what we have, guys. I mean, it's about being appreciative. People still complaining because we don't have mouthpieces in the game. The game is going in the right direction. Rex is just like us, guys. If he was up at the top, Rex would say, we're going to do it like this way right now. Rex, he probably likes long shots, but he wants the sim thing to go first, just like we want it to go first.
Right.
I think long shot is going to be good, but hey, man, we're about to sim first. So I think it's just all about us being appreciative of what we got, man. We need to stop complaining. It could be a lot worse. Man, we even got Jake Stein communicating with people on Twitter now.
Right.
Come on, guys. Come on. He was talking to people out of EA Play. I mean, we got to just be appreciative where we at, man. Those guys can say, you know what? We're just going to shut the whole thing down. We ain't talking on Twitter no more. We're just going to do what we want to do. Forget the community. We're going to change our direction. Now, what if they did that? We need to appreciate where we at, because Clint said it also. He said on Twitter that they've been trying to get a lot of guys at EA and the dev team to come on Twitter. But those guys, they see the arguments and stuff. They're like, there's no way, man, I'm going on there. So we need to be appreciative about those guys. If they tell us if it's green, it's green. They're not telling us it's green and say, hey, man, it's not really green, it's purple. We just telling them, it's green, but it's really purple. No, it ain't. And that's how people viewing it. Man, they're telling us the real deal. Let's appreciate what we got. Madden 18 is going to be off the chain. Let's be excited about it. Stop complaining about the game. It ain't even came out yet. So that's my whole thing is about let's appreciate where we at.
The funny thing about Jake, real quick, man, before you come in, there's really no reason for Jake to be on Twitter. Smitty knows that. There's no reason. Like, nothing. He could really just be out of here. And all he's doing is putting himself at risk, as well as John White. I mean, come on. Especially seeing what CFM is not getting, and John White is still out there. See, these dudes ain't got to be out there, man. I'm just saying. Zulu, man, what's your last words before we go?
Well, I'm gonna quote Smitty because something he said. And this is like weeks ago. Matter of fact, might have been a month and a half ago. But he was saying we got to stop infantilizing gamers. That you got to take your L, you got to take your loss. At some point, you may have to sit down. We used to have booklets that give us directions, and we may not have that anymore. But you need to go sit down somewhere, go through the tutorial, go through the Madden trainer, man up. We're heading into another decade, and this Rex is kind of, I mean, I think one of the lessons that Rex learned is, why am I fooling around with fools? I feel like Madden 17 really helped open his eyes that he could put out a superior product and folks could still complain. Let me just go on and be about my business. And it takes him back to what Smitty was saying. We got to stop infantilizing these folks. You either learn how to play the game or you move on. And meanwhile, Rex will be able to broaden his audience with a better product, with a more sophisticated product for the next decade of the 21st century. So for me, I'm pretty hyped for Madden 18. I spent last summer learning football concepts to really improve my game. I'm gonna do it again. And I would say that to everybody, like, yo, enjoy the damn game. This is why it's our hobby. That's why we play. It's a stress reliever. And on top of that, I'm a competitor. So I love to go at fools. So I can't wait for Madden 18 to drop because, I might not get much sleep for the 2 days after it drops. I might not get much sleep. But once again, man, thanks for inviting me to the show. I'm enjoying myself.
Absolutely, man. Before I throw it to Philly, I wanted to address something in the comments. A lot of guys always ask how they can join the Sim Standard Radio League. We're a 32-man league. We have a waiting list. Azure is the main commissioner. Contact him on Twitter at AzureEffect, and he'll get the details. But what I wanted to propose, man, a lot of you guys here in the chat, me personally, I'll be honest, I can only play in one league. I just don't have the time to play in multiple leagues. But all of you guys in the chat, a lot of y'all should get together because most of you dudes here, I'm pretty certain of what I'm thinking that you guys are sim guys. So all of y'all should get together, man, and play in a league together. That'd be great. I would enjoy even viewing it for you. Some of you guys who are content creators, like Hollywood, do that. Network with each other here. Everybody mostly here is like-minded. So I would strongly recommend that if you're looking for a sim league, get with some of the guys who come in here in the chat. You guys get in the league together, and I'm sure you'll have a good time. Y'all can report to us on the show, like, what's been going on. That'd be something cool, man. So like I said, I can't do more than one league, so I won't be able to lend my, my presence, but I would love for that to happen, man. Yeah, and SGO, Sports Gamers Online, holler at him as well. He's here in the chat, so I would strongly recommend that. Philly, what you got, man?
One quick suggestion, because I've been asking to get in the league for a while now, is that we should have another, like, there should be another division, sort of like what NBL do, like, you know what I mean, like a senior league, and then maybe like another league where you could play to get in. And after that, like, I just want to say that, what I mean, like, it's always good for the show. I can't wait for the new game. What I mean? Like, I look forward to Thursdays, like I said earlier, just to come on here, what I mean, like, see what's going on and just, what I mean, like, converse with some like-minded people. That's all.
Yeah, we always happy to have you, man. Been a loyal follower for a long time. And yeah, that's actually a great idea. We actually do it that way. If I'm not mistaken, they call it, because it's like 4 or 5 of us that are commissioners. It is somewhat of like a B league, not like in a disrespectful way. It's kind of like I think that other league is for guys who are on the waiting list, and then when people drop out or what have you, we pull guys in. So yeah, actually, check with Azure, man. I think that's how we actually run it. So we do kind of have something like that already, but that's a great idea if we don't already have that. Smitty.
Yo.
Oh, wait a minute. We still got somebody. Who am I missing? Did I skip over somebody? Oh no, here we go. Smitty. What's your last words before we sign out of here?
No, man, just that You know, I appreciate, like always, you know, appreciate everybody that for coming through, hanging out, because we running this thing extra long on the day. But it was good discussion, though. We figured we ain't even had nothing to talk about. And then, look, we had all this discussion going on. But
yes,
this
sir.
is what we talk about, you know, community, everybody coming in, getting on the panel here, discussion, and doing this more often. We need this every single week, to be brutally honest. But, no, I mean, hey, look, like next 2 months, you know, we'll have Madden, we'll have a live demo to be able to play. And like, you know, just get in the lane that you want to be in, you know, stay in your fishbowl. If you want to play old school games because that pleases you the most, knock yourself out. If you want to play something new and updated, hey, guess what? You're about to have those choices come up. And then on top of that, come September, you got a plethora of sports games are going to be dropping. So especially on the 15th. So I'm saying, like, you got a lot of good stuff coming. So, hey, this is a good time. You know, this is the quiet period, but at the same time, things are going to start ramping up soon. Just embrace for it and have fun. That's it, man, at the end of the day. So
absolutely. We got a lot coming. I'll tell y'all something straight up that I ain't afraid to admit. Me and Smitty talked about this the other day. Now, y'all know with us being EA Game Changers, quite often there's some perks that come with that in terms of games. You know, a lot of times we're able to get games, you know, just here you go, guys. Thanks for da-da-da-da. All you do, here's your copy, right? So there's probably a strong chance that a game like Live will be in our possession at no cost, right? Yeah. Because of that, I'll tell y'all, I'll keep it real with y'all. If that's the case, and I don't have to buy, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't think I'm buying 2K18 right out the gate. I think I'm gonna red box it first and see if the things that frustrate me are still there. Now, let me make sure y'all understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Live is taking me away from 2K. No. What I'm saying is I still play 2K17. 2K to me hasn't changed much since 2K14. That's just my opinion. Very playable. I know a lot of people do this with MLB. A lot of people still playing 15 for MLB. To me, I seem to buy 2K every year, and then there's a lull period where I don't play it. And now y'all see now I'm even streaming it. I'm back to it. I'm not gonna this year, even though it's not really necessarily a hit if I spend a few dollars on a game, I'm just being smarter about my purchases this year, man. Like even Mass Effect, I was so heavy on Mass Effect, I ain't even finished it yet. So I'm really gonna start only buying games that I'm gonna give a try. Now, if I'm in a position where I have to purchase Live, that's gonna be interesting. I probably would buy Live because Live is returning. I'm more intrigued to see what they're going to be, where they're going. And I still will keep an eye on 2K. And like I said, if 2K addresses a lot of the stuff I want them to address, I'm on it. But if a lot of that stuff that's still been there, let's be honest, we ain't even got to go last gen. A lot of the same problems. And you know, Madden's the same, but a lot of the same stuff from 2K14 is still there. If that is the case this year, I am not buying it. I will not buy it because I'm not going to play. I don't keep it in my rotation as is. And I have no problem admitting that to y'all. The reason why I wanted to say that before I close, that's what I encourage y'all to do with Madden. If the game ain't for you, don't buy it. It's very simple. If you won't see me on a 2K forum saying, I ain't buying that's trash, I don't need to. I've made my decision. I'm either going to buy it or I'm not. I don't have to blast nobody. I don't have to come in your video while you streaming and trash 2K. I could care less if that's what I decide to do. So I encourage all of y'all to do the same with Madden. If it ain't for you, don't buy it. Just that simple. Don't put the stress on yourself. So that's it, guys, man. Again, we appreciate everybody who came out tonight, all of the guests, all of the commenters, definitely all of the viewers, man. We've stayed over 50 live viewers this whole night. That's amazing. I think even right now we're at 56 At one time, it was up to 82. Guys, we appreciate y'all, man. But again, like Smitty said, let's continue to have it like this, man. I want more of you guys to come on and be a panel, you know, because y'all know this. The devs watch this. You know, I can't guarantee they watch every one, but they watch it. Y'all know that. They've said that. They watch it. This is your opportunity to share your voice and let people know what's on your mind. Because I believe you me, guys like Rex, he's watching. So there you have it, man. We're going to sign off until next week. Keep us informed of any topics y'all want us to cover. Y'all know we're in this lull period right now. But it ended up tonight, like Smitty said, turned out to be something. So let's keep this thing going. Hit us up with some topics, and we'll be happy to share our thoughts on it. So y'all be easy, man. Have a good weekend. I know 4th of July is coming. I'm fortunate enough to, my job is closed both Monday and Tuesday, so this is going to be a long weekend. So I hope all of you guys have a great time. Be safe. Remember Jason Pierre-Paul when you're playing with them firecrackers. Just saying. All right, man. We catch y'all next Thursday, man. Y'all be easy. Peace.
All right, peace.